his hand, don't be mistaken. I believe in peace, but I won't be taken. I will not submit to authority of man. I'm ready to die, but not for life. See the signs appear, it's gonna happen here.
This is Liberty Underground with Alex Snicker and Adrian Wiley on the 1787 Radio Network.
Tampa Bay, St. Petersburg, Clearwater, the entire state of Arkansas, and streaming live on 1787network.com. This is Alex, co-host, Liberty Underground, sitting in Greg's spot right now, but that's okay. He's on speakerphone and showed me how to actually get on the air, which is quite dangerous. Also with me in studio, Danielle Alexandre. Good morning, Danielle. Don't say anything first, though, Danielle, because I will be changing camera views so you can talk to me as this camera view is on. So, Danielle, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing good.
Doing well?
Yes, I'm doing well.
Was Santa good to you?
Yeah, I think we had a really nice Christmas.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. Did you not?
I'm not having any fun.
Did you not have a nice Christmas?
No. It was good. It was good. It was all right.
I thought we had a nice night, a nice day.
Yeah, it was a good time. No, it was a good time. Very good time. So very, very, very good time. On the phone with us, who will be here shortly,
Who
but
you can't hear.
who you can't. Well, they're about to hear him because he's on the phone. Even though at one point I told him that not to say anything, but now that the show is going and it's official, on the phone with us, Libertarian Greg, also known as Schnugens. Also known as Knobs, also known this morning
As late.
as Tardy. Greg Bowen, how are you doing, sir?
Spectacular. Running a little late. About 6 blocks away, but I'll be there in a minute.
Hey, I wonder if that actually went through.
I could hear it
Did
in
you
my
hear
headphones.
it? Did you hear it through the headphones?
I could hear it.
So Greg is on the phone with us though, and he will be here shortly. He was trying to help me out here, and did miss a turn, but that's okay. He'll get here. It's only a matter of time. I don't know I don't even know if I like his camera angle. It doesn't face him. All it gives him is. Greg, do you prefer the profile shot? Hold on.
You got to put him out to the mic.
I'm going to ask him again. Greg, do you prefer the profile shot?
I do, actually. I do.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
All right.
Good to know. Greg Bowen, prefer the profile shot.
You can't even say it right.
I can't even say it right. It's his preferb. He prefers the profile shot.
What were you trying to say yesterday that you just...
I left that up near the mic.
Yeah.
Don't do that next time.
You were trying to say abnormal, and it was coming out like in normal. And
Yeah, I don't even know what it was.
it was funny.
It almost sounded immoral.
It almost did, but that wasn't
But that
what
was
you meant.
totally the wrong context to try to use that word. So, yeah, I totally hate Greg's camera view.
Yeah, you really do.
Yeah, I do.
Well, it's a good thing that you don't have to sit there a lot.
That's true. It's a good point, by the way. Thankful that Greg will sit here.
In fact, 10 minutes ago, you didn't even know what to do over there.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is? I knew how to do the audio, but I didn't know how to do the
But you didn't know how to do all of it and put
There's
it
a
on
lot
YouTube
going on
and
over
everything.
here, by the way.
I know.
There's a lot of different buttons and levers and switches and
Lots of
all
knobs.
kinds lots of knobs.
I actually think you brought the microphones in after you started talking. So I think people only caught, you were 3 words in when you brought the mics up.
Yeah. I believe that's true. I think Greg just hung up on us.
Did he? Oh, because
Yes.
he's here.
It's because he's here. Greg Bowen. Everybody. Greg Bowen, everybody. Greg Bowen. Nice of you to make it, sir. Nice of you to make it.
Thank you.
All right. Let me go ahead and get up. Oh, I'll wait till he's done first, though, because he's got to get his preparing done.
Let Danielle.
Danielle, why don't you do us a favor and lead us into the first story while we kind of do this transition?
We're already going into the
deal
first
over
story.
here.
I wasn't prepared for that. I thought we'd talk and see how it
Well, why don't you
Christmas
start
is.
talking then? How about that?
Well,
Whatever you got to do in order to help us out here, why don't you do that?
I'm not very helpful. It's like you haven't met me.
I know. I was hoping you'd change right now and actually just start becoming helpful quickly.
I actually do have kind of a fun story from Canada, and it's about Santa Claus. So I thought, let's talk about that. We just had Christmas. In Canada, they just gave Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus a passport. And of course, you think that this was kind of some ceremonial, like, oh, they're giving the clauses a passport. But it's actually a little more than that. There's a piece of the Arctic is actually kind of under dispute on who owns it. And Canada, Russia, the U.S., a couple other countries, Norway, and Denmark are all basically saying that the Arctic belongs to them. So Canada tried to use this like publicity ploy of we're giving the North Pole we're giving them the clause Canadian passports, but a lot of people are saying that it wasn't really a joke. They were trying to use that as a way to tell the international community the North Pole is ours.
What?
Yeah. Because the North Pole would be in the Arctic. And there is a land kind of dispute. Canada, the United States, Denmark, Norway, and Russia all say that they own the Arctic.
Oh, is it worth anything?
No, it's just ice. I mean, there's some penguins, I bet.
I mean, like, is there any natural resources at the bottom or anything like that?
I'm sure there's probably oil at the bottom.
Well, there's no land up there, though.
Yeah, I mean...
No. No, not under the ice, though, right, Greg?
Yeah. I guess the ice.
Talk to the mic, Greg. I know you haven't been here for a little bit, but...
I can't even hear myself.
Yeah, I know. Maybe it's just broken. I'm sure it wouldn't be the first time we've broken something, but I don't think there's any land underneath it, either the North or the South Pole. I don't actually think that there's land down there, is there?
Well, it basically says as things are kind of melting, there's more and more land as the ice is melting, and that's why there's this big land grab, because I guess nobody really had claimed it before because they thought it was just ice.
But you're saying that somebody's claiming that there's land there.
Yeah, not only are they claiming there's land there, but Canada, the U.S., Denmark, Norway, and Russia are all fighting over who owns it.
Well, how do we got a stake in the game there? Because of Alaska?
Because of Alaska.
Because of Alaska? Hey, look, just because you did a horse trade with Russia back in the day, and got because those guys weren't really that smart. Not really even that they're smart now, but we got Alaska from them. So you think that Alaska means that you also own the rest of this stuff up there?
Yeah, that's basically why the U.S. is seeking claim to it. Denmark and Norway and Russia are actually all really close to it, so I could understand all those. Canada as well is very close.
Yeah, I don't think Norway has a... Look, I'll go with, like, Russia, and I'll go with, like, Canada, but, like, Norway, shut up.
Yeah.
All right? Just stay out of this, man.
So...
It's like a 12-year-old trying to get in a fight between two adults. Like, kid, you're just going to get yourself hurt. We'll take over you. Just go ahead and stay out.
Those are the Vikings. They're the ones that could kick all of our asses.
Yeah, back in the day, hey, look. If we were all still using wooden ships, I'd fear Norway. Well, all right, I would legitimately fear. I have zero fear of Norway right now. Zero.
You should.
I
don't know.
This ain't a bar fight, man.
Well, I don't know if you know the story, but Russia tried to invade Norway around World War II and outnumbered like 75-1. Norway kicked their ass and sent them back to Russia.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not going to Norway. And those guys ain't going to... But here's the thing. But those guys ain't going to go to the Arctic Circle and be able to put up a fight there. You know what I'm saying? Home turf, I hear you. And I ain't trying to invade Norway. But I'll tell you this right now. I got a couple big bombs that blow a whole lot of stuff up. It'll melt some snow on them real quick. Just melt some snow on them.
Well,
I'm saying I don't even want to get involved in this land grab, man. I'm not an interventionist, baby. But don't mess with me.
The funniest thing is that the most...
I will bomb a Norwegian like you've never seen it. I will send drone bombs like going out of style.
No more cruises for you.
Yeah.
You have to cruise on.
That was wrong.
What I found the most funny is that the most aggressive country calling dibs on the Arctic is Canada.
That's good for Canada, man. I like to see them get aggressive on stuff, man. Good job, Canada.
This is the first time in Canadian history that they've been aggressive about anything.
But they're probably still apologetic.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I wish I could do a Canadian voice right now. I just can't.
Sorry about that.
Oh, it's about that. No goal. It's in a crease. One of the greatest SCTV skits ever. The Great White North.
Yeah.
It actually had... If you're unfamiliar with this, it had... Oh, man, I can't believe I won't be able to... Greg, what are their names? Was it Martin Short? Not Martin Short. Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis.
And who was the other guy?
I can see his face. I cannot.
I won't be able to remember the other guy. But they did this show. It was almost like Wayne's World before there was Wayne's World.
It was like the Canadian Wayne's World.
Yeah, it was like a pre-Canadian or Canadian pre-Wayne's World Wayne's World.
Yes.
On SCTV, which was Second City Television, which was phenomenal stuff. Way better than Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. In my opinion, far superior than Saturday Night.
Far superior than the.
They had John Candy. I mean, you can't really top.
Oh, they had a lot of people on that one, man. Well, they had some that ended up doing both.
Right. There was some crossover.
I think Bill Murray started over there.
Yeah.
I think it was Bill Murray started over there.
I think so.
I don't know how we got to SCTV from Canada claiming land rights in the North Pole from a Santa story. That's 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon right there.
Yeah.
That's what that is. I'm sorry. Go ahead. We totally messed this up, Danielle.
No, that's okay. I just, I thought it was funny that, they used Santa to kind of, and this is the thing. This is how aggressive they are, that they used Santa Claus to say, no, we own it.
Yeah, it's us, Santa, Saint Nick, what? Say something. Deal with it, bitch.
They had to use an imaginary figure.
Man, that thing's still not working. Maybe it's just not plugged in. Maybe it needs something.
Yeah, it needs to be replaced.
Well, I know it needs to be replaced. You're right about that. And if you'd like to make a donation for that, 1787network.com, and there's a donate button there, go ahead and do that. Or you can call into the program and give us a credit card number over the phone. We promise we won't tell anybody.
We won't broadcast it.
Yeah. Hold on. The one thing I will let me also say though that if you do want to call the
Refresh
telecom lines is 1-800-525-4032. That is 1-800-525-4032, and you can call into the program and either add something or tell us what a crappy job we're doing, or tell us we're doing a great job, or call us and ask us what you're doing, or whatever you got to do.
And I think this mic may have seen its final days.
Do you think so?
I think so.
Yeah, I think you might be right. All right, so let's get back to it though. Let's
Okay.
go to the Christmas messages.
Okay, so on a more serious note than the Canadian being aggressive with Santa Claus, actually, and this is someone who we very much admire, Edward Snowden did put out a message for Christmas. And I actually haven't seen the whole video. You did.
I did. I watched the whole thing. It's not that long. I mean, it ain't like he did like a 30-minute, The thing about Snowden is this, is that Snowden's not a dummy. He's kind of a smart guy, but he's not a big talker.
Yeah.
I know that you'd think, well, I'm going to do a Christmas broadcast. The point he was trying to make, I thought, was a phenomenal point, by the way.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even like a big bad thing. Again, everybody tries to paint this guy as some selfish, egotistical, it's all about me. It's all about me. It could be anything further from the truth if you actually listen to what this guy says. So he puts out a Christmas thing. It's only a couple minutes long, and he says something on there. And I'm not gonna get it all the way right, but he said something on there that I really thought was one of the most telling things
About the kids.
Yeah.
born.
Oh, I found the quote
I found
though.
it. Yeah.
A child, and this is what he says: a child born today will grow up with no conception of privacy at all. They'll never know what it means to have a private moment to themselves, an unrecorded, unanalyzed thought. And that's a problem because privacy matters. Privacy is what allows us to determine who we are and who we want to be. It really is like one of these things that this should have been very easily above all else, all the stories of the year. This should have been the thing that was, Snowden should have been Time's Person of the Year.
Yeah.
The fact that he wasn't just shows you that all these guys are, when it comes to the big government spy they're setting up, that all the major media companies not only know about it, but obviously they're okay with it.
I actually like another quote that he gave to the Washington Times. And basically he said, he already won. And he says, as soon as the journalists were able to work, everything that I had been trying to do was validated, he told the Washington Post. Because remember, I didn't want to change society. I wanted to give society a chance to determine if it should change itself.
Yeah.
And I really like that. Like he didn't set out to change anything. He just wanted to give the people the information they needed to decide if things are going the wrong way.
Yeah. Now there are a lot of people who consider this guy a traitor. There's a lot of people that consider this guy to be a traitor.
Not people in this room.
No one in this room. No one in this room. We'd argue how much of a hero he is.
Yes.
There's a lot of people that consider this guy a traitor. And for those people, let me just say something. Let me be kind of simple with it. Hang on, I got to sneeze.
Bless you.
Thank you. Excuse me. For those people that consider Edward Snowden to be a traitor, first off, let me tell you that you actually don't understand the problem. That if you think that Edward Snowden is a traitor, then obviously what this government has been doing behind your back without permission from us, from we the people, what they've been doing is illegal. It's unconstitutional. I know that unconstitutional is a word that likes to get thrown around a lot. And, well, the thing is that the government's doing a lot of things that are unconstitutional, so that's one of the reasons it gets thrown around a lot. But there's another word for what they're doing. It's called illegal.
Right.
And I know that sometimes people don't equate unconstitutional to illegal, but it is.
That's what it means.
And here's the thing. We can have a disagreement when it comes to public policy on, like, what's the word for it? Like Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, even Obamacare. But the difference is that those things were started with full public knowledge. That everybody knew what was going on at the time. What Snowden brought out was something that was not agreed upon in the public. Mm-hmm. That we had a government at the time, which was the Bush administration, that didn't let a crisis go to waste. Now, don't get me wrong, September 11 was a horrible incident. It was really horribly bad what happened. I'm not going to get into who's at fault or if it's an inside job or anything like that. That incident went down. There's a lot of Americans that died. Now, the United States went the wrong way because everything that the terrorists, if they hate us for our freedoms, then taking them away isn't a good thing. That means the terrorists win. You really want the terrorists to win, start taking away everybody's freedom, which is exactly what you did after September 11th. What Snowden did was simply to point out, this is what they're doing. And I have all of the... If he were to come out and say, I'm leaving, and I'm leaving, but I'm telling you guys, I saw this and this and this and this and this, and they're doing all these bad things. And he had no proof whatsoever. Everybody could have just shoved that away and said, don't worry about it. He's talking trash. He doesn't have any proof of this. That's what would have been the argument. The argument against Snowden at the time would have been, well, they don't have any proof that this is going on, so whatever. So you know what Snowden did, the smart guy that he was? He got all the proof. He says, I'm not going to mess around. I'm going to pull what the NSA is doing. I'm collecting everything. And I'm going to put it out as it needs to be put out. I'm going to give it to the media, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. And the best person he ever could have given this information to was the guy he gave it to. Oh, yeah. Greenwald has been perfect. And he is, I got to tell you, man, I know that Greenwald is like a socialist or something like that, right? Like, yes, ideologically, Greenwald's a socialist. But I don't think that he allows his political ideology to get in the way of how he reports stories.
Well, economically, he's definitely a socialist, but he's also very much a champion for civil liberties.
Right.
Which we're absolutely on the side on. And on this particular issue, government spying on its people, we're all in agreement.
It's a huge violation of civil liberties.
Yeah, he's totally like that. But he's also a guy that will argue his case. He will stand on. Snowden couldn't pick the better guy to put this information out with. And a lot of people don't like Greenwald, and a lot of them will use the excuse of, well, Greenwald's socialist, so there you go.
But he's honest when
he's a reporter.
He's an honest journalist.
Yes.
Did you see his interview on MSNBC the other day?
Yeah.
where he calls him, where she's interviewing him, and she says, you're just defending Snowden, and he goes, well, what about you on MSNBC 24 hours a day defending Obama and the Democrats?
Yeah. Yeah. Which is the God's honest truth. That thing's Obama TV 24. Not every host all the time. You're right. Just like not every host all the time on Fox News, is a champion for the damn neocons. They let some people in every once in a while. They got to do that to try to at least show a little bit of credibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but MSNBC is just as bad as Fox News. It is not that one is worse than the other. They are equally crappy.
Yes.
If you go, well, my side, well, Fox isn't nearly as crappy as MSNBC. Quit picking. Get out of the left-right paradigm, you bunch of assholes.
Yeah, you're still picking
Yeah,
sides.
you're still picking sides. All right, MSNBC sucks. Fox News sucks. They suck equally, and go from there.
Yeah.
But Greenwald is an honest journalist. Look, I ain't gonna vote for Greenwald
Because he's a socialist.
because he's a socialist. But I want him reporting because he's an honest person more than anything else.
He's an honest journalist, and he tells it like he sees it. He's not one to mince words. You know exactly where he stands, but even though you know where he stands, he's going to report the truth no matter what. Even if he disagrees with it, the truth is the truth.
Yeah. So back to the message, the whole reason I even started this rant. Back to the message for the people that think Snowden's a traitor. First off, understand something called priorities and get some. That's the first thing. Understand priorities, get you some, and then go back and listen to Edward Snowden and what he says. And instead of going with the, if anybody says anything bad about America, then I hate them, instead go back and listen to say, this guy who is a patriot, who is an American, is telling you that your government that you're trying to defend is literally listening to everything you say.
Which is illegal.
Which is illegal. He saw it and needed to do something about it. All right? Then maybe you'll realize that the real evil in our government is the people like Obama and the people like Bolton and the Bolton and the people like McCain and the people like Graham. The neocons and Boehner. The neocons are the evil. And whether it's a neocon on the left or a neocon on the right, it is inconsequential. The neocons is what has gotten this country to the point that it's at today. And unless you just eliminate any neocon from public office and get rid of them, we're always going to have problems like this. And Fox News is still, no matter what you else want to say, Fox News is still neocon headquarters. And you know why? Who do they bring on every week? Bolton, Karl Rove, Gretchen Carlson, who's just such a neocon, it's not even funny. A blonde neocon, nonetheless. Liz Cheney. Who else do they bring on? Greta's kind of a passive neocon. O'Reilly's like a status neocon. Hannity, who is trying to not be considered a neocon, but is totally a neocon. He's trying to shed that. Looks almost like a German soldier at the end trying to get rid of a uniform. You know? Like, that's what Hannity's like. Hannity's trying to, like, it wasn't me. I had nothing to do with it. You know, it was somebody else. Hitler sucked, you know? But, so that guy, Stephen Hayes, Bill Kristol.
Well, I mean, and they still do interviews with Krautheimer, Dershowitz. I mean, they do.
Yeah, Krautheimer, Dershowitz. Yeah, you're right about those names as well. Look, that's who Fox News brings on a consistent basis. Again, they're just as bad as MSNBC, folks. I know you don't want to hear that. And I know that doesn't make you feel comfortable because then it's like you don't have a side. But you don't have a side in this, man. It's the neocons on Fox News against the socialists, or fascists against the socialists or communists, whichever one you want to do it. And they're fighting it out. And they think that you belong to one of them. Like MSNBC, well, you belong to us because Fox News is really bad. And Fox News, you know, you don't like MSNBC, so you belong to us because MSNBC is really bad. Well, what if they're both right and they're both really bad? But the other thing that they're not right about is that you don't belong to either one of them. That's what it is. You don't belong to Fox News or MSNBC because that's not America.
Well, and they're definitely skewed. They're skewed to their side. They spin the news to be, you know, more beneficial to their side, and that's just the way it is. Neither one of them are good.
Yeah, if you know, if you know the truth, when you watch either one of them, you can see the part that they leave out.
Right.
When you find out the whole part about it, like especially polls. Polls are the easiest. Here's an idea for you. What I want you to do is I want you to start watching the polls direct. Don't listen to them until you've read the entire poll.
Right.
And seen everything that they've done. The most recent one that I could go back to would be the approval ratings.
Yes.
Do you remember this one, Danielle?
I think I do.
Do you remember me saying something about this?
I think I do.
You want me to say it and then see if you remember? Okay. They did an approval rating one where they talked about Obama's approval rating. In the same poll, there was a bunch of different questions that were asked, but one of them had to do with Obama's approval rating. Then the next one had to do with the Republicans' approval rating, and then it was like, Congress's approval rating, but it had a whole bunch of different approval ratings on there. Fox News only ever discussed one approval rating, which was just the one for Obama, right? And left out all the rest of the approval ratings.
And MSNBC only used the Republican
one and left out the rest of the whole poll. So instead of doing what they were supposed to do as journalists and report on the entire thing, Fox News only reports that Obama's a bad guy. And don't worry about Congress; they're just great. Now they didn't lie and say that they weren't. That they just left out the part.
They just didn't say anything.
Yeah. And then you go on MSNBC and it's like the Democrats are doing horrible, or the Republicans are lowest point ever. What about Obama? They didn't do Obama in that poll. I didn't see that part.
But they used the same exact poll and just picked out the information that would be best for their narrative.
Yeah, whatever advanced their narrative.
Yeah. And they would only tell that information. And it was the same poll. And we had seen the actual poll. We had seen all of it.
Yeah, you saw the whole thing.
So we kind of looked at it, and I remember you saying it because I'm like, well, the poll had both. They're using the same exact study.
Yeah, I was confused. I'm like, well, hold on. There's a different poll. Let me go look. No. That's those slick bastards.
They're using the same one.
They're using the same damn numbers.
And it is. They're both very skewed to their side and things like that. And that's just and MSNBC is going to say anything that the Republicans proposed was the most horrible thing. Of course, you're going to go to Fox News and all you're going to hear is, we took away all your liberties, but it was for your safety.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's all bad.
Yeah. Look, here's the other thing. Look, I understand how you want to fight this. I know you as not you as a person or Greg or Danielle, but if you're listening to this and you're going, Alex, man, I love you to death, man, but you're always doing this, man. You're wrong. You're just we got to have Fox News, man. Fox News has got to be with us, and you want to hang on. You want to hang on, right? And I know why you want to hang on. I know why, because it sucks to know that there's no spoon. It's not fun to know this stuff. I'll freely admit to that. That keeping that shred of hope that Fox News is somehow not involved or not in on it will make you feel a little bit better. Trust me when I say this. You will feel better being able to publicly say the truth instead of living with the lie, because the lie's hurting you, whether you know it or not. And I know this sounds funny, and there's a little bit of humor to this, so I know I kind of explain things in a funny way sometimes. It's hurting you on the inside. You know why? Emotionally, it's hurting you because you can't tell the truth. Because you want to tell the truth, so you're conflicted inside, and it's causing probably a tummy ache.
Or a headache.
Or a headache. Or a headache, tummy ache.
It's called cognitive dissonance.
Greg's right. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
You got to just know that there's no spoon. Just Fox News isn't with you. MSNBC isn't with you. You have no loyalty to those people whatsoever because they have no loyalty to you. And if you stop listening to them, then you'll stop being so reactionary on crap that don't matter, like Duck Dynasty. Yeah. Because Duck Dynasty doesn't matter.
I can't believe you mentioned it on a second show now.
I just wanted to. I had to revert to it.
It's a great example.
It is a great.
It is a great example. Look, they've done it. Oh, here's the thing. Think back to the presidential election in 2012. Mm-hmm. The nation was all behind Rick Perry. Then the nation was all behind Herman Cain. Then it was Michelle Bachmann.
Then Herman Cain.
No, then Rick Perry.
Okay.
Then Herman Cain. No. Herman Cain ended up being later than that.
Herman Cain was
later.
Was
it Newt before Herman
Cain? Newt. Santorum at one point?
No, Newt and then Herman Cain and then Santorum.
Yeah, because after Santorum won Iowa.
Yeah.
Okay, the media was picking your candidate the entire time. And meanwhile, they never gave Ron Paul a turn. I wonder why that is. Again, Fox News, Neocon Central, doesn't like Ron Paul because Ron Paul tells the truth because he's a libertarian, and that's what libertarians do for the most part. If they don't, be honest with you, pretty much get rid of those guys. Or we'll make it very uncomfortable for them, and then they end up leaving.
We definitely.
I would argue that sometimes we do get a little passive aggressive. Ask the root about that one.
You went to war.
Don't come in here and neocon it up, though. Don't neocon up the LP, man. We don't want your neocon trash.
You're stinking up the place.
Hey, you Trotskyites, go somewhere else. You already got 2 parties. You don't need a third.
Well,
two's quite enough.
We're not very accepting.
I'm not accepting of neocons. I'm really not. I don't like those people. I really don't. You know why? Because they're just so. Some of the loudest hawks for defense that I've ever met have never spent one day in a military uniform. Which I'm not saying that if you're not in the military, then you don't have a right to say whatever you want to say, because you do. You still have the right to say whatever you want to say, whether you are, prior military or not. But I wish you had a little basis to be able to make that call. I wish you understood. But if you felt like that, I don't know why you're not in the military. If you're such a defense hawk, I don't know why you're not there. You should be there. You really should. Matter of fact, you should be sending your kid there.
Yeah, not necessarily them, but at least their children should be.
Because they're kind of old.
But even if they're old, they should. I don't know what they should be doing, but they should be doing something in there. The fact that most of these
rear with the gear.
Yeah, the fact that most of those guys never spent a day in the military in their lives, and yet are such adamant defense hawks, just is the first sign of hypocrite, to be honest with you. That's just really... Marco Rubio is one of the largest hypocrites that's going up there in Washington right now, because he is such a dirty neocon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's like the great Cuban hope for the neocons. I don't even know what you want to say it is.
The great neocon hope.
Yeah, he's the great neocon hope. And then they pick the Hispanic. They're like, oh, we got Hispanic too, so we're hitting 2 bills,
We're losing the Latino vote.
Yeah, so why don't you pull up a guy that will bomb everybody? That's a great idea. Yeah, that'll get votes, you stupid asses.
But
really.
He speaks Spanish.
Oh, gosh.
I actually don't know if Marco Rubio speaks Spanish. I was just making that up.
He does.
I actually think one of the reasons that I think subconsciously that I have such a hard time dealing with even the Liberty Republicans in the GOP is the simple fact that those people have chosen to stand with the neocons instead of against them. They've chosen to stand arm in arm, brother and brother, with the neocons. And don't see the problem there. How come? Well, you're so weird. Why wouldn't you come over here and hang out with these neocons?
We're libertarians. That's why.
Ron Paul started a revolution to get rid of these guys. He went on the floor of the House to describe in detail what the neocons are and where they came from. He gave you everything you needed to know. Just because he ain't bright enough to know you shouldn't do it through the GOP. He was bright in 88.
He was bright enough to give you the map.
Yeah. He was bright in 88. Yeah, he was bright enough in 88. It ain't my fault he ain't doing it now. I don't even know what to tell you now. But here's the thing. Neocons are evil. They're evil. This is the evil on the earth. A lot of times they go, well, you'd never know who the devil is because he'll convince you that he's not the devil. Neocons are the devil. They are evil. And they should not, at the minimum, I'm not going to go down the road that we should kill them all and all that kind of stuff. But they should not hold political office. I do not need those people dictating public policy because more people will be killed. And Snowden, thank God, in the libertarian, mind you, love that, donated to Ron Paul's campaign. Revolution continues, only getting bigger. It's kind of like Fight Club. We're in all different places now.
Matter of fact, we have to talk about it.
Yeah, except we do have to talk about it.
Yeah, I was going to say, we broke the first rule of Fight Club.
Nah, it's okay. No, it's a different Revolution Club. The first rule of Revolution Club is you have to talk about
Revolution Club.
Second rule of Revolution is you have to talk about the Revolution Club. It's funny. But the thing is this, man. Don't stand with those people. If you want to know one of my angers is you stand with neocons. That you've made that conscious decision to stand with the neocons. Sorry, I'm done. I know I went way over. My apologies, Danielle. Will you forgive me? Will you spend this Christmas time and forgive me?
Of course.
Thank you.
I forgive you for much worse than that.
If you need my forgiveness, you've got it, but I don't think you do.
No.
There you go.
And I'm going to go on to the next thing because you actually kind of brought up a good thing. Is, all these neocons and what Fox News says is, it's for your safety. We have to do these things. But And one of these things was the TSA. We had to have this because it was going to keep us safe. And this was actually, and this is how sad our government has become, because there is a security expert, an airline security expert. He was the chief of security for Israeli airports, which if anyone knows anything about Israel, their airports are very secure. You want to talk about tight airport security? That's where it is.
Yeah.
You know, they're the winners. So
they're the winners.
if when we're talking airport security, that's who wins. But this guy was the former chief of security for Israeli airports. He's a airline security expert. His name is Rafi Sella, and he did a study on the TSA and American airports and American airport security safety. He went to Congress. They wouldn't listen to him. He went to every official that he probably could have ever tried to go to, and they didn't want to listen to him. So he actually rewrote his entire report to put it on the humor website Cracked.
Oh my God.
And this is funny. What he wrote. The TSA couldn't protect you from a 6-year-old with a water balloon.
The TSA couldn't protect you from a 6-year-old with a water balloon.
Now, everything...
That should be on a shirt.
I want that on a shirt. I want it on a bumper sticker on all over my car.
I want
all
that
sides.
I need a vehicle wrap for that. I need a placemat. I need a mouse protector for that. If you don't mind.
I'm going to make it my profile picture on Facebook.
And this is what
actually I do want somebody to make that as a profile page on my Facebook.
I think I'm going to.
I'll do that today. Like that.
Yeah. It says, I think when we get to the stage where Congress has been made aware of the issues and decided not to act, even on a pilot basis, and continue to waste billions of dollars of taxpayers' money to make the big industries bigger, it might be a good idea to just joke about it because no one is taking this seriously anyways.
That's why Comedy Central is one of the more respected news outlets.
More people get their news from Jon Stewart and Steve Colbert than they do Fox and MSNBC.
Yeah, that's what's sad. And Fox is number one.
And some of the things that he is saying is that the people who are hired as TSA agents have have very little training. They have a very, very high turnover rate. So they're supposed to be checked every, like someone comes through and like tries to hide something like twice a year to see if they get through TSA. But because of the high turnover rate of TSA agents, some of these agents never actually get tested ever. And because they're always new. And and this is what he says. This is what he says in the Cracked, version of his report. He says security can't be treated like a fast food company. These people are tasked with finding bombs, not flipping burgers.
Yeah.
And he took his own report and actually made it into what would sound like satire, but it was actually absolutely true. Like, this was a real, honest research on the TSA, and because no one would listen, he made it into satire so that people would actually read it.
Yeah.
Hey, it sounds better than a lot of the stuff that's
well,
the Onion and Cracked and these other their news stories are better than what the other outlets are putting out.
It's either that or throw some titties on it.
Yeah, that works too.
Make it humorous or make it sexy.
Yeah,
sexy fun time. That's what he ought to have done. He should have had an Asian stripper just say, "Who you like GI sexy fun time?" and then went into the TSA from there.
Me want you long time.
Me want you read this long time.
So
you TSA, you can't protect a boy from a 6-year-old with a water balloon.
They basically say, and he does say, that there should be some profiling, but not racial profiling or ethnic profiling. It's behavioral profiling. Because he says, people who are carrying a bomb onto a plane tend to act the same way. And you would be able to notice. Someone that's smuggling something onto an airline, basically, they have some telltale signs. And that's not racial profiling or ethnic profiling. It's behavioral profiling. You're acting like you're hiding something.
It's called a description of the suspect.
Right. But he actually went through, and this is a funny story. He went through airport security many, many times, but this is one of the times that he tells about in this Cracked. He goes to the handler. Now, they want to confiscate a laser pointer. So he's going through and he has a laser pointer because it's a couple 100 degrees away from being a box cutter. So he has a laser pointer and the handler tells him, you know, I have to, this is what the handler says. Okay. He says they have to take it. So they said, I'm going to need, so
hold on a second here. Let's do
okay.
Liberty Underground Theater.
All right.
Masterpiece Theater.
Okay.
All right. I'll be the handler.
Okay.
Do you want to be the handler or do you want me to be the handler? You want to be the guy or you want to be the handler?
I can be the handler. That's fine. You can be the handler. That's fine.
Okay. So you start. Okay.
Okay. I'm going to have to take that. The laser pointer.
No. You're the guy, not the handler.
No. The handler. Okay. Yeah. I'm the guy, the TSA agent.
Alex.
Oh, you're the TSA agent.
You're the handler.
I'm the handler. Oh, okay. My bad. Okay.
I'm going to have to take that laser pointer.
Okay, take it. But that pin is company property, so I'm going to need some sort of receipt.
What?
The pin isn't owned by me. My boss is going to need some proof that you took it.
I'm going to have to call my supervisor. Where do we keep the receipts? Now we need a supervisor.
Oh, Greg, you need to be supervisor. Well, hold on, you're not reading this, are you? Well, you could read it. You got the notes.
Hold on, I'm trying.
You got to find it now.
Okay.
I know. We'll put him on the spot. You got to be both. You got to run both.
So the supervisor says, "Oh, I don't want to say that. What the?"
It's 9:43.
Oh, okay, I can say it. What the fuck are you talking about? We don't give receipts. So, oh no, I have to. I explain the situation to the boss, and the boss says, "What's the contraband?"
A little laser pointer.
Give it the fuck back. What do you care?
There you go.
2 seconds go by, they hand it back to me. It's easy as that.
There you go.
If you ask for a receipt, they'll just hand you the stuff back.
That's what you should start doing.
Give me a receipt.
I'll tell you, the impromptu theater was not working out as well.
It was
as
not
I was
working
hoping
out
it
well
would
because
work
we
out.
didn't have enough people ready.
Yeah, we're not.
Can we hire some TSA agents to play TSA agents while we're on the show? Can we do that, please?
We should.
What the hell's wrong with you guys? It ain't like they don't have a big turnover rate.
We'd probably get one on the out.
We can get one on the cheap.
So, but basically, you know, and a lot of what his report says is that as soon as he kind of asserted himself, saying, "Well, why are you taking that?" and then they called the supervisor, they would give the stuff back.
Yeah.
And you know, and that's what he was saying a lot. He has orthopedic insoles that look like composite material as you go through the screen through the checkpoints. When you go through the X-rays, if you take your shoes off, it would look like composite material, which is bomb material for anyone who doesn't know. So he put his shoes on the belt each time, and no one ever questioned his shoes.
Again, it's all a facade.
6-year-old with a water balloon.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I love that in this article they do have a sign, and it talks about expedited screening in this lane. No need to remove shoes, belts, light outerwear, 311 compliant bag, and laptop from carry-on. Keep those shoes on. You're busy, traveler, you. You busy traveler, you.
And that's
like,
actually...
what a freaking insult, man.
That's a TSA sign.
Yeah, that's a TSA sign.
It's a real TSA sign.
I hate these people.
Man,
Again,
fuck those guys.
Exactly, Greg. Exactly. Exactly. It is unbelievable. Again, the only reason they made this line is because people pay ahead of time.
Yeah.
If you pay us more money, we'll make it easier for you. Again, it's not about safety. If you pay us more money, we'll make it easier for you. And we're going to hire a bunch of the lowest scum of the earth to... Maybe I shouldn't say that about all TSA agents, because they're
I'm
not
sure
all the
some of
lowest scum
them
of the
are,
earth.
you know.
But when they began to hire those TSA agents, they did it the same way they'd hired telemarketers.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is...
Will train.
Yeah, they are not screening for the cream of the crop.
This ain't dirty jobs with Mike Rowe people. You know what I'm saying?
The study also goes on to claim that basically the long lines that they create by making everybody take their shoes off and stupid things like this actually sets up a scenario that if you wanted to harm a large number of people, you actually grouped the people in the airport for a potential terrorist.
Exactly.
So you've made them sitting ducks by going through your screening process that actually doesn't screen anything, because even when someone comes with shoes that look like through the x-ray machine like a bomb, you let it go through.
Yeah. This is a good time also to mention why I'm a libertarian, and I imagine why some of these other people are libertarians in this room. And it has to come with this. You got to remember something. I know that I don't think this, and I know that Greg doesn't think this, and I think that Danielle doesn't think this either. We know that none of us are smart enough to live your life.
Right.
But we are smart enough to know that we're not the ones that are going to be able to live your life, that you have to live. We're smart enough to know that it needs to be you that does it, and that there's not any big government agency that's going to be able to do it for you.
Yes.
And none of us are going to be smart enough to know how to keep you safe.
Right.
Your own personal vigilance is your best bet for staying safe.
Yes.
Dependence on the government, dependence on anyone else is only secondary and very far at that. The best way to protect yourself is to be vigilant and prepared yourself, not dependent on anyone else.
You know, and we'll probably have these people on later on to explain a little bit more of what I mean by this. But I want to say something else at this point. What you need to do is that when you're out and about in public settings, you need to, and again, it's going to sound a little weird to say this, but you need to live in the present.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have something that many people call situational awareness.
Yeah.
But you need to have complete situational awareness. You need to hear things, you need to hear sounds, you need to see what people are doing, you need to observe behavior, but you need to do it in a way in which you're not having to, you want to be subtle about it, but you want to basically have your head on a swivel. What you really need to be is curious.
Yeah.
Go, what the hell are they doing over there? What the hell is that?
Just be aware of your surroundings.
Yeah, just be in the now. Be in the now. Be in the now.
Well, and if
be in the now.
If you look
be in the now. Sorry. I had to do it one more time. Please go ahead, Danielle.
If you look at all of the potential attacks that have been, kind of that someone has stopped before anything bad has happened, it hasn't been because of a TSA agent or some extra screening or anything like that. It was a vigilant citizen.
Yeah.
That said, wait a minute, that person isn't acting right. I think I'm going to keep an eye on them. And then when it went too far, that's when they, grabbed him or whatever and said, no, we need to take care of the situation. And that's why the shoe bomber was stopped. That's why the underwear bomber was stopped. That's actually why there was a UPS or a FedEx agent or whatever the shipping company was that found the ink cartridges that had, some sort of thing. It was someone that said, wait a minute, this doesn't look right. Just a normal citizen just going about their business saying something isn't right here because they were aware of their surroundings and aware of what should be normal and what isn't. And it was never any of this extra screening or any of the liberties that we've lost haven't produced anything. The NSA spying has not stopped anything. The TSA hasn't stopped anything. Citizens being vigilant has, and that's the only way that it's ever going to work.
Yeah. It's just, I hate to say see something, say something, but, because I don't mean it like that. But here's the thing. If something don't look right, then ask somebody about it, man. Go, hey, what is this thing over here? Yeah. Get somebody, take a second opinion.
Yeah.
Take it from your passenger next to you. Hey, man, are you looking at this, man?
Right.
This don't look right, does it? And the guy will go like, no. Maybe you ought to talk security. So you take it to security. Hey, man, something don't look right over there, man. You check that shit out, man? Help us out here. Do your job, security. Why we have to come over here and tell you should be knowing stuff already. And then you go and let security deal with it from there. If you got to go about your business at that point.
For all the money that we've spent on the TSA, for all the liberties that we've lost for the TSA, observant flight attendants have stopped more terrorist attacks since their creation than the TSA has.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, here's the other thing, too, by the way. A lock on the pilot's door would have stopped 9/11.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or letting a pilot be armed.
Yeah, or letting a pilot. I'd argue you still need the lock because you need the time.
Of course you need the lock. But having a lock, these guys had box cutters. If you had an armed pilot, they don't get very far.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, completely.
You brought a knife to a gunfight.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now you're dead. Now you have to die. Sorry about your luck.
Now you had some flights that had to land early because of the dead bodies on them.
Yeah,
and they were terrorists.
There's no thousands
of lives lost.
Thousands of dead Americans, no destruction of buildings. I mean, again, locked on the door. Look, we weren't, as Americans, we weren't prepared for this. And I don't know why. Like, we should have been.
Well, we were trained not to be. We were docile and compliant. And we were watching American Idol and drinking our Starbucks.
I don't think American Idol was on then.
Well, it's
there was some other show.
It's a metaphor.
Family Guy.
Alex.
Now we're going down that road. Okay.
Well, I mean, think about this. If you call the police department because your car was broken into, the first thing they say to you is, well, if you don't want your car to get broken into, you should lock your doors.
Yep.
Yeah. No, you got to make sure you lock the doors. Yeah. Well, yeah. We didn't learn that on a plane. Well, I'm glad we learned it on a plane now. But, a $40 lock and all this is solved.
Right.
We've spent now about $1 trillion. More than that, even.
Yeah, probably more.
All right, what's the next story, Danielle? I'm sorry, we totally messed up this whole thing.
You guys have derailed this whole thing.
Well, actually, we did all but one.
We're actually doing great.
Yeah, we're doing great. That one doesn't deserve a whole lot of time because Coburn doesn't know. Go into Coburn now.
What I meant was more that you've killed all of my segues.
Oh, yeah.
Not necessarily that you've killed the actual, show prep itself, but you've killed every one of my segues into the next thing. You've just bluntly stopped and been like, okay, what's next?
Continue with your story.
So, anyways, Senator Tom Coburn actually was on. He was on with Meet the Press, and basically he said that the issue with the debt was not because Congress and the Senate didn't agree. It's not because the two parties didn't agree. It's because they did. This is what he said, and I actually love this quote. He said, the reason we're in trouble on deficits and debts is not because we didn't agree, but because we did. We agreed to spend $740 billion we didn't have last year. We agreed to waste $30 billion, as I put in the waste book, this year. We agreed to continue to let Medicare have $80 billion a year in fraud in it, and we're going to have $80 billion a year in fraud in Obamacare. We agreed to all those things. So the story coming out of Washington that we don't get along, I would dispute that. We get along just fine with the status quo of the government being ineffective and inefficient. So we pass a bill that raises spending and raises taxes and denies what we promised the American people. And everybody says, oh my goodness, how great. We grew the government some more and you charge us more taxes and you didn't fix any of the problems.
A moment of clarity.
Ding, 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 ding. We have a winner.
Yeah, moment of clarity. So what he should do is leave office immediately and tell every other Republican and Democrat to do the same thing.
Yes.
Because you are the one that did it. Again, I don't like Tom Coburn, to be honest with you. I'm glad that he said this. I'm glad that he said it out loud. But you know what, though, Coburn? You're part of the problem. So
yeah, you're part of that.
I'm glad you can identify that you're part of the problem, but it doesn't change the fact that you're part of the problem.
I think at least at some moment he's understanding that he's part of the problem, and I think that's why he said it. He also says, I guess I can't really speak for the Republicans. My thoughts are the American people don't believe we have a debt ceiling because we always increase it, and they don't believe we have the discipline in Washington.
Yeah. Yeah, he's dead on accurate there.
Oh yeah, he definitely is. He was on. It was basically like a panel, and Chuck Schumer was the other person on the panel.
Yeah. Despicable human trash.
Who basically just ignored everything Coburn said, and then just basically just said, back off, that the Republicans need to back off hostage taking, adding extraneous and irrelevant issues to the debt ceiling. So just completely like, well, I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Hey guys, stop bringing up the real problems.
Yeah. Well,
the people are going to wake up if you do that.
Yeah, Schumer doesn't care.
He put his hands over his ears and was like, la 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 la.
Well, look, Schumer's another one of those Schumer's an evil guy too. Make no mistake about it. Chuck Schumer is a despicable piece of human trash.
Oh, he for sure is. And I'm just saying that, even as his response to what Coburn said was like he hadn't even heard it.
He doesn't want to hear it.
Oh, yeah. Well, none of them want to hear it.
Well, no. See, at least some of them up there will acknowledge what Coburn said, But guys like Schumer don't, because that goes away from their whole narrative.
Right.
You know, the Schumer narrative is, you know, the Republicans are evil, we're good, and then that's it. You know, and the part is that, you know, Schumer should be in jail. You know, Schumer should be at a minimum should be in jail. But that's just me. Pine Box would be better, but you know, we'll take what we can get for now. Nah, you know what, man? It's Christmas season. People need to atone for themselves. It's a time for atonement. And Schumer, I'm just hoping your atonement time comes up real soon, son.
Oh my gosh.
I think Bolton, wasn't it Bolton the other day talked about Snowden and said he ought to be hanging from a tree.
Yeah,
he said he should be hanging from a tall pine or something like that. Or I don't remember what he said. Well, I got to tell you something right now, Bolton. I'd stick you up on that thing, and I put Schumer and McCain and Graham and all the rest of them, and we can have you guys do that stuff. And said, matter of fact, I don't want to waste a rope. I'm just going to get a guillotine instead.
You can reuse the rope. It's all good.
Let's go French on this one.
It's all good.
No, let's go French.
That's messy, yo. That's messy, though.
No. We need to be messy. People need to learn.
Guillotine's messy.
The views of Alex Snicker does not necessarily reflect the views of everyone on the 1787 network.
Okay, if we're gonna use the guillotine, can we put a ramp under the head that leads into like bowling pins and make a game out of it?
Oh yeah. What are you out of your mind? Of course, man. We call bowling for dollars. Be a good time. The only problem is you only get to use one, so you're gonna have. What we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to. It's gonna be a little bit different.
We've got 535 of them up there.
But
we've got 535
but certain heads you want more than others, though. What you're gonna have to do is this: you're gonna have to do it like draft style. So we'll have to put them all up like on bleachers, and then you get to pick them one at a time. They come up, and then you hit it, and then it rolls, and then you go to the next one.
Barry Sanders' big ass head is my #1 draft pick.
Barry Sanders is not gonna be able to be picked.
Sorry.
Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders.
Sorry. Barry Sanders.
You did say Barry Sanders. I'm like, what the hell did Barry Sanders do? What's wrong with Barry, man? What the hell? So that's the way we'll have to do it, though. Maybe one day. Maybe we'll get lucky one day and be able to play that game.
Danielle's sitting over there going, oh, my God.
I'm not anywhere a part of this conversation.
Oh, all right. All right, well, hour number 1's in the bag. Hour number 2 is coming up. Our website, 1787network.com. If you would like to see that, along with many other glorious games that we are playing. Let us take a break first. We'll come back. We do have the guys from Atlas MD on to talk about the healthcare solution on the next hour. And Greg's looking at us with surprise. We'll have to give him a phone number so he knows when to call them at a certain time. You're listening to Liberty Underground.
Hi, this is Gary Johnson, and you're listening to the 1787 Radio Network.
Facts about the red light cameras. Fact, you are guilty until proven innocent. The Fifth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution grants you the presumption of innocence. Fact, red light cameras cause accidents. Accidents are up on an average of 40% at intersection with camera. Fact, cameras punish technical foul violations. Over 80% of tickets are written when the red light is on, under 1/2 second. Join the fight at www.banthecams.org. www.banthecams.org.
At Auto Body Unlimited, they work with their hands and heart to provide outstanding high-quality work and customer service. They specialize in European automobile collision repair work and refinish. At Auto Body Unlimited, they bring your car up to manufacturer standards, or they will buy your car back. They have dedicated equipment and use the same processes and paint that you would get from the factory. At Auto Body Unlimited, they don't work for the insurance company, they work for you. Auto Body Unlimited is located at 1300 Sunset Point Road in Clearwater. Call 727-443-4041 or on the web at autobodyunlimited.com. Visit Auto Body Unlimited for all of your repair needs. They work for you. If you received a ticket in Florida, contact Oropesa Law Offices, 800-774-9883 or tacklemyticket.com. Attorney Oropesa understands the stress associated with being charged with a traffic ticket. In many non-criminal ticket cases, there may be no court appearance, no points, and no traffic school. Attorney Oropesa handles criminal violations, DUI, and license suspension matters. Don't face these serious legal matters alone. Initial consultation is free. Call now and you will be advised about any potential defense, constitutional rights violations, the possibility of having your driving privileges restored, or preventing a suspension from going into effect. If you've been classified as a habitual traffic offender, have a driver's license suspension matter, or a pending DUI case, call Oropesa Law Office now so you can be advised about your particular case. Call 1-800-774-9883 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or visit tacklemyticket.com. Main office in Pinellas County and serving all of the Tampa Bay area. Find out more at tacklemyticket.com. Mention Liberty Underground and get 25% off.
Liberty starts with a like. Facebook.com/Liberty Underground.
You know Going Postal offers shipping with UPS, FedEx, and DHL International, and they're a full-service post office. And Going Postal is not just your one-stop shop for shipping. They offer copying, laminating, faxing, packaging, and they even have a notary public service. Visit our friends at Going Postal at the following convenient locations: Palm Harbor at the corner of Tampa Road and County Road 1 in the Sweet Bay Plaza, St. Pete on 66th Street just south of Tyrone Boulevard near Publix, and be sure to visit their newest location at 35595 US 19 North at Alderman Road next to Publix in Palm Harbor.
When the unthinkable happens, it doesn't matter if you save money in 15 minutes. It doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance you do. In this moment, what matters is the quality of your independent agent and the company that stands behind them. Auto Owners Insurance has been recognized as highest in customer satisfaction with the auto insurance claims experience 5 years in a row by J.D. Power and Associates. For award information, go to jdpower.com. Call Row Insurance in Newport Richey today at 727-376-0030.
To the man with the rifle in his hand, don't be mistaken. I believe in peace, but I won't be taken. I will not submit to authority of man. I'm ready to die, but not for a lie. See the signs appear, it's gonna happen here.
This is Liberty Underground with Alex Snicker and Adrian Wiley on the 1787 Radio Network.
Good morning, Tampa Bay, St. Petersburg, Clearwater. This is Alex Snicker, co-host, Liberty Underground, along with me, Hernando County and Orange County's favorite, most loved libertarian, Danielle Alexandria. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Doing well.
Glad to hear that. Also working the boards as he always does, and is doing a great job. This is his first year that he is doing it during the Christmas time frame, though. And that is Greg Bowen. Greg, how are you doing, sir?
Spectacular, thank you.
Spectacular.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Well, that's very good. We appreciate that. Hopefully everybody is having a good time. Hopefully everybody had a good Christmas. If you'd like to give us your Christmas story, then you can go ahead and call us at the Refresh Telecom lines, which is 1-800-525-4032. 1-800-525-4032. We're going to have a good show today. A lot of different stuff going on right now. We're going to bring some guys in later on from Atlas MD. A gentleman by the name of Doug Newmacher is actually going to be on with us from Atlas MD. But before we get into that story, let's talk about a little bit more of the problems as it relates towards healthcare. Danielle has a brand new story that's up about some new things that are coming in 2014.
Yeah, now, obviously, we have Obamacare is actually supposed to start being implemented in 2014. One of the things that most people aren't talking about is all of the new taxes that are going to hit us here starting in about a week. Starting January 1st of 2014, all of your health insurance plans that you've purchased and things like that are now going to have an extra additional tax added on. Now, most insurance companies are kind of just adding this into the price, and you don't really know that it's a tax or a fee that's going directly to the government and not really paying for your insurance. But Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Alabama has decided they wanted to let consumers know, and they separate it as a line item for their consumers called the Affordable Care Act fees and taxes. So what this basically does is every customer basically it adds on about $213 a month, or $277 annually, and that's average. It boosts the monthly premiums per person by from about $32 to about $322 to about $345 for each individual. It's a 2% levy on every health care. It's going to raise about $8 billion
on every healthcare plan, right?
On every healthcare plan. Sorry,
you just said on every healthcare.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. When there's a lot of things going on in the room.
I got you. I understand. I totally.
And you
understand.
know that.
I do, but I had to make fun of you.
Okay. So, it's actually expected to net about $8 billion for the government just in 2014.
Wow.
There's also a $2 fee per policy that goes right into the Medical Research Trust Fund.
The Medical Research Trust Fund?
Yeah. And all insurers have to pay a 3.5% user fee to sell their medical plan on healthcare.gov.
All these guys.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, but wait, there's more. What else am I going to get with this crappy healthcare plan?
There's also going to be a 2.3% medical device tax, so that would increase the cost of pacemakers, stents, prosthetic limbs. That's also going to be, all your medical devices if you need like an air cast or the boots for your feet, like when you get a broken foot. Any of those kind of devices, walkers, wheelchairs, all of that is going to see a 2.3% tax. There's also going to be a reduction in what you can claim as medical expenses on your income taxes as well. So even though it's not directly a tax, you used to be able to deduct any medical expenses that exceeded 7.5% of your income.
Uh-huh.
But now that threshold has moved up to 10%.
Up to 10%?
Yeah. So you can't start claiming medical expenses until they've reached 10% of your annual income. But wait, there's more.
Oh, but wait, there's more.
If you make
yippee!
If you make over $200,000 a year per individual, or a family that makes more than $250,000 a year, you will also pay an additional 0.9% in Medicare surtax. So that would normally what you're paying now is 1.45% in the Medicare payroll tax. This is actually going to increase it to 3.8%. It'll increase it by 0.9%, but it will increase to 3.8% on any unearned income. So that's all of your investment income. If you have rental properties or anything like that, any of your investment income now you have to pay 3.8%.
Wow. I mean,
I'm just calling him direct from Skype.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to go. But
so this affordable health care has added on, I just mentioned about 6 new taxes.
Yeah, 6 new taxes.
I don't know how affordable that is.
Well, it's not very affordable. Again, anytime that they actually say something and they put in the word affordable, then more than likely it's going to cost you more money. If they say the Patriot Act, it is not patriotic. It is the Health, Food, and Safety Act. It is not going to be more health, food, safety. But instead of dealing with the problems that are out there,
something's wrong with Skype.
Oh, we're having a Skype issue. All right.
All right. Well, there's also and if you don't know this, there's a large segment of the medical community is actually just the people who code everything to send it to the insurance company. So you actually have a person in every doctor's office that's all they do is basically say, oh, we did an x-ray. An x-ray is this code, so I'm going to send this code to bill the insurance company so we can get paid for that x-ray.
Yeah.
This is a huge, I mean, there's some doctor's offices have several people that this is all they do is look for the proper coding. Well, there's some new codings coming out because of Obamacare, and one of them is legal execution.
What?
There's a new code that's going to be added to the medical billing and coding, and it is the ICD-9E978, which is called legal execution.
Hold on. So not only were they right about the death panels, but they gave it a code.
Yeah. There's a code. It's legal execution, and this would... This is funny.
I don't know how it's funny, but we'll go with it.
All executions performed at the behest of the judiciary or ruling authority, whether permanent or temporary.
Hold on. How can you make it... How can you make it temporary?
Apparently, the legal execution, whether it's a permanent execution or a temporary execution.
Wow.
But this is an execution that could be performed by asphyxiation by gas, beheading, decapitation, or by guillotine, capital punishment, electrocution, hanging, poisoning, shooting, other specified means, or injury undetermined whether accidental or purposely inflicted. Now, if it's a legal execution, how would that be accidentally inflicted?
Yeah, how is it an accidental legal execution? Like they're trying to put words together that don't mean what I think that they think that it means.
Yeah. So there's actually, and this is just one of the new codes that's being put forward. There's actually 68,105 new medical codes that are being added because of Obamacare, and that was just one of them that they wanted to that we got highlighted. But this is just hugely. They're making the insurance process more overly complicated, and adding on at least 6 or 7 new additional taxes on top of it. There's nothing affordable about this CARE Act.
Yeah, exactly. But on the phone with us is Doug Noon.
Let him say it.
Newmaker, yeah. He's with Atlas MD. So we've talked about this before, but it's really a pleasure to get these guys on the program to actually discuss what these guys are doing a little bit more. Doug, can you hear us?
Yes.
Well, first off, thank you very much. We appreciate it. The website that people can go to is atlas.md. Could you give us a little bit of information of what atlas.md is?
First, can you tell us how to say your last name?
Oh, yeah. First, you can tell us how to say your last name.
Sure, it's Nunamaker.
Nunamaker.
You would have never gotten
I would,
that.
but I will tell you this, though. I have seen that you're good at planking. So I do have the planking picture up on Facebook.
Yeah. One of our more shared Facebook posts was Josh and I planking in the office.
Which I think is nice, though. It shows at least that you can do that, though. And
you're fun.
If you can plank, then I got to tell you, you're probably a good doctor. I'm just saying. So
we try to stay fit.
Exactly. Could you tell us a little bit about Atlas.md?
Sure. So Atlas MD is a clinic that we started about 3 years ago. It was actually September 2nd of 2010. Any Ayn Rand fans out there will recognize September 2nd as the day the book actually starts. But we wanted to create a clinic or a healthcare system that was outside of insurance. As a physician, there's really only one way to be paid for services, and that's through insurance, but we knew that was really backwards. So what we wanted to do is basically start a clinic where, much like any other service industry, plumbers, mechanics, electricians, people come in to see us as patients, and they pay a monthly fee. So for most adults, it's $50 a month, and kids are $10 a month. You can come in as often as needed. There's no copay. Anything we can do in the office, procedures, EKGs, biopsies, laceration repair, stitches, all that's included. And then we also offer wholesale discounted medications and labs. So for the most part, a lot of our patients actually save more on discounted medicines that we dispense out of our office than it costs to be a member.
Now, let me make sure I get this right, because one thing that you also do is that you do the pharmacy stuff there too. So you can get your medications directly from you guys, right?
Right. So, for instance, I just saw a patient this morning. She has a cough, cold, and got the medicine that she needed straight from my office. So she doesn't have to go to the pharmacy and wait. She left with prescriptions in hand, so she can go back to work and start on the medicine.
Yeah, so she was able to get things done even quicker because she, instead of having to make two separate trips, one trip to see you, one trip to see her medicine, but one trip for each, you were able to actually cover both of those at the same time. And if I'm not mistaken, typically your prices are less expensive than you would get even from like Walmart.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she actually, she walked away with the medicine that at Walmart would have been $4, and here it was 71 cents. And we still do utilize the Walmart $4 list for certain things. I don't make any money. The clinic doesn't make money on these prescriptions. It's wholesale, so what we buy it for is what patients get it for. So I don't make any money. If it's easier for a patient who's on the other side of town to pick up a prescription for $4, then we'll do that. But that's part of the strategy that we have to improve care is patients get to leave with the medicine. They know that I'm not prescribing it because I make extra money by doing so. If medicine is needed, then they get it, but I'm not incentivized financially to do that.
Now people will, and again, I'm going to play a little devil's advocate on this, is that people are thinking that, well, if we have to pay you guys $50 a month, then what's the difference between going to you and getting a healthcare plan where I can go see everybody? Like, what's the big difference there?
Right, and that's the thing that the major component of what we've been able to do. Concierge medicine has been around for quite some time, and we've paid a lot of attention to that. But what we've done, not only incorporating discounted labs and medications, but also finding insurance that makes this whole thing work. Initially, a lot of people just abandon insurance and do a membership-style model, but by finding insurance, I'll put it this way, it's the easiest way to think about it. Your car insurance doesn't pay for gasoline or oil changes or tires because those things are relatively inexpensive. But a car accident is not. Well, that's what health insurance should do. It should cover the catastrophic surgeries or cancers or heart attacks, hospitalizations. Those things are going to be more expensive. But what health insurance is trying to do is cover everything. Sniffles, cough, colds, medicine, imaging, MRIs, CT scans, things like that. Well, imagine if your car insurance paid for gas. It would be insanely expensive. They'd tell you how much you could get, where you could get it. They could change the station you can fill up at on a whim, and you'd have to pre-approve a trip out of town. It would be silly. Nobody would do it. So we help people find insurance that makes sense, i.e. insurance that still covers the catastrophic problems, but not primary care, because that is really inexpensive.
Or it should be inexpensive.
It can be, I should say. What people assume is expensive, primary care is really not. It's the red tape that is wrapped around primary care and healthcare in general that makes it expensive.
Now, let me ask you a question, and I know you're not a person that would deal with catastrophic coverage plans necessarily, but what is the cost savings that you would have from a regular insurance plan right now that has all the copays and everything else to a catastrophic coverage plan? What kind of a decrease are people looking at on a monthly basis?
We've seen for some people 40 to 50% decrease. We actually had there's a local company that was paying $600 per month for an individual. This is a company policy. $600 for an individual, $1,800 for a family per month. We got the family plan down to $600, and the individual policy, of course, even less. So you're looking at literally going from $1,800 to $600. Well, that's $1,200 a month per family. That even a family of 4 for our membership is $120 a month. So you've cut out $1,200 to spend back in $120 into our clinic. So you're still over $1,000 positive every month just by being a member. You get all the primary care you need. You still have insurance for the big things. You have access to medications and labs. I mean, it's really a game changer. So for companies and individuals, we've seen 40 to 50%, and in some cases even more than that.
Now, and one other thing I think you guys do this as well, is that as a patient, not only do you have access by being able to go to your location, but you also are setting up things that are utilizing technology when it comes to being able to email your doctor, or being able to have a phone conversation with your doctor, or do it via the computer. That you've made it so the access that an individual will get with a professional like yourself in the medical field is enhanced for that smaller amount of money on a monthly basis.
Right. So, utilizing the technology at hand, we've actually, the website that you spoke of, atlas.md, that's actually for the software we've developed for other physicians and practitioners to use. Atlas.md/Wichita is our clinic site. But basically, it incorporates emails and text messages and Twitter into the EMR, because, when you think about it, a lot of our patients, over this Christmas holiday, for instance, people may have wanted to get a hold of me and just say, hey, I've got a cough, cold, what do you think's going on? Well, instead of actually calling me, they can just send a quick email or a text message, and I can respond to that. And usually it's at our convenience for the patients, and we can answer questions. I had a patient yesterday call me and said, hey, I've got a rash, I don't know what it is. Can I get in to be seen? I said, tell you what, just send me a picture of it. We have the technology. He's got a camera on his phone, and I can easily look at that. Sure enough, his symptoms and the picture were consistent with poison ivy, so I called out a $4 round of prednisone for him, and he gets taken care of, even over the holidays. So utilizing technology is absolutely a key to how we practice.
That was the day after Christmas that gentleman had reached out to you.
Yeah, that was yesterday.
Yeah, that was yesterday. I'm trying to let people, and I'm just trying to kind of reiterate that point to say that you were able to get in touch with your doctor underneath the system that you guys are talking about here, and moving towards the system. Would you say that the access that the individual patients have with their doctors is going to be increased greatly? I would say it was increased greatly with this. Is that a fair way of saying it?
Oh yeah, no, it really, for a family practitioner, I have a lot of what I have at my disposal for procedures, things like that. Those, of course, are important. But really, more often than not, you've got families with questions. You've got a young, let's say a first-time mom, and their kid at 2 a.m. starts throwing up. Well, they could go to the ER, or they could just call me, and I can kind of, talk them down from, whatever anxiety they're having about, what's going on. In fact, I had a patient that access. She called me. It was Christmas Eve. She was going to be flying to Alaska, and really needed an injection in her knee, a steroid injection. So I came in on Christmas Eve, it only takes, really a few minutes, so I'm not away from family that much, and she got in and got the injection that she needed to keep her mobile while she's out of state. So those are the kind of things that, she even talked about, well, maybe I'll just find a doctor up in Alaska who can do it. Well, that's going to be very expensive if you'd even be able to find a doctor to do that for you, because that'd be kind of a strange request. So being able to contact us, that access improves care tremendously.
Now, you've worked under both systems, I would imagine. That you probably did work under the healthcare system when it came to insurance, and now you're doing it without insurance. As a doctor, which one do you prefer when it comes to how you deal with patients? I mean, I know it's kind of a loaded question, but if you could give me an example as to why, which one do you prefer?
Yeah, there's no question that working in a system like this. I know you guys were talking earlier about the coding system, ICD-10, and that's one of those things that, we haven't coded anything in our practice for 3 years, because it's a system designed to basically tell insurance what you did so that they can justify what they're paying back. A great example is when I was a hospitalist. I worked in a hospital, and if they're, quote, malnourished, their protein level in their blood is low, then you used to be able to just write malnutrition, and that would be coded out. Well, then they came out and said, okay, well, now you have to write protein malnutrition because just malnutrition isn't sufficient. So we started doing that. Well, the health department came in and asked why there was a spike in kwashiorkor in Wichita, Kansas, which kwashiorkor is what you see in extremely malnourished people. And, of course, we don't generally see that in this country, so that's why they wondered about that. So now we have to write protein calorie malnutrition. So we've gone from 1 word to 3 because of the system. And and you can't shorten that. You have to write it out every time. So it's incredibly frustrating. It wastes time, and it does nothing but just add red tape and bureaucracy to an already overly inundated system.
No, absolutely. And again, thank you very much. We really do appreciate you coming in to talk about this. We do consider what you guys are doing is the solution to the healthcare industry problem that we're having right now. And it's really great to see that. Go ahead, Danielle.
I mean, I just think that, you've heard of talking, and it's less expensive, and you get better, more specialized care of someone who's actually looking out for your best interest and not being incentivized by pushing a medicine on you. I can't see how anyone could not see this as the solution.
Well, not just. Oh, go ahead, Greg.
Well, I'd actually like to get Dr. Doug's input on this here. I think his model is more in line with the oath that they take, with the Hippocratic Oath, as far as because part of it is, that I realize that I'm treating a sick person, not a cancerous growth, and their family and their economic stability is part of that. That's part of the Hippocratic Oath, and it seems like this is actually taking that into account and looking out for the economic stability of the customers, the patients, and the doctors are actually acting more in line with their oath and taking that into account.
What's your thought on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, the current system, physicians really aren't incentivized to prevent disease. We're basically we're paid to treat disease. So another example would be somebody that has slightly elevated blood pressure, but they're not, quote, hypertensive. Well, if I discuss how to lower their blood pressure with them, and I bill for that, the insurance company sees that as hypertension. So now every time that person goes to file for life insurance or anything, they're going to be labeled as hypertensive, even though they're not. So I can actually fulfill a role of being a preventer of disease because I'm not worried about how it's going to bill or how an insurance company is going to see that. I can truly take care of someone. Most people don't realize how many patients a doctor has. I just talked to one in Colorado recently. He has one PA plus himself, so essentially a 2-provider practice, and he has 7,000 patients in his practice. So that's what it takes to keep the machine running, and he has 9 staff to make it all work. It's exceptionally inefficient, and people don't get the care they need. He's a fantastic physician, but he's overworked. So that needs to change.
but he had to be overworked in order to hire all those people to comply with the codes in order to get paid on the insurance, and he's not getting paid as much as he was getting paid before anyway.
Exactly. Our clinic, for instance, we have just over 1,400 patients between 3 physicians, and we have 1 full-time nurse and 1 part-time nurse. That's our overhead. So what patients are, the membership that they're paying isn't going towards overhead; it's going towards care.
Yeah, and it's going towards paying the doctor to do the job, because the doctor yourself has to go to school for a long time to learn how to do these things, and that that skill does mandate a certain kind of salary, I guess you could say, and you're incentivized, and it's so beautiful because you are incentivized to
keep
see
people healthy,
to see people less.
Yeah.
But you're advised to keep them healthy in order to see them less. But in order to do that, you have to go after the root cause of the problem, because you don't get paid more the more they come in. You get paid less the more they come in, technically. So you're
we're incentivized to keep people healthy. We certainly things happen and we take care of people as issues come up, but. Just today after kind of a long break, I've already seen a few patients, did a home visit just this morning. So, we do what we need for our patients, but we're able to truly take better care of them. Unfortunately, in the current system, good doctors practice bad medicine because of a broken system. And we all know it needs to change. And, the Affordable Care Act has done nothing to make, one, it's not affordable, and it doesn't provide any extra care. Insurance is a card in your wallet. Care is sitting down with the provider. They're 2 very distinctly different things.
Absolutely. We got to take a break, but please, Doctor, if you could give us all of the different contact information, websites, everything, in order for people, once they hear this, to be able to contact you guys.
Absolutely. So the website is atlas.md/Wichita. We actually have several podcasts that we've done for providers out there that are interested in knowing how to do this. And if you want to contact us, just send us an email at hello@atlas.md, and we would be more than happy to respond to any questions people might have.
All right.
And if you want to call the office, you can always do that too, and that information is all on our website.
All right, great. Well, Doctor, thank you very much. We really do appreciate you you coming on at short notice, but you guys were able to pull through even with all the problems we were having on our end. Doctor, thank you very much for your time, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Great. Oh, man, I'm telling you. Wow, Greg was over there in love.
Yeah,
Greg was in love.
I love that.
Oh, yeah, he's great. He was great. Look at that. And again, does that sound like an uncaring person? It sounds like a person that wants to take care of his patients and figure out the right way to do it and save his patients money in the meantime.
Yeah.
That sounds like the kind of doctor we need more of. The kind of doctor that cares about treating patients, keeping people healthy, and not doing it just to buy a Maserati.
I think most of the doctors, when they get in the business, are getting in for that reason.
They are.
Not to buy the Maserati, but just to take care of it.
I make this argument all the time when I'm talking to people. Remember when you were a kid? What did people tell you? Oh, if you want to get rich, become a doctor or a lawyer.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
How often were you told that? By your parents, by your teachers, by everybody. If you want to get rich, become a doctor or a lawyer. Neither of those are professions that should be about making money and getting rich.
Right.
When you start making it about getting rich, that's when you lose your ethics and the whole thing falls apart. And that's why our law is corrupt and our medicine is corrupt.
Yep.
Because it's all about money and not about justice and health.
Yep. And I'm glad that the Tan Talk listeners can hear this.
Yeah, and this was the solution to that.
Yeah.
At least in medicine.
It absolutely. This is one solution. I love this solution. Implementing this as much as possible is going to do great things.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely it will be. Oh, no. That's why when I had the chance, we wanted to get these guys on right away. But let's take a break. When we get back, we'll have Brandon from the Global Dispatch on. Another day that Brandon has to wait a couple more minutes, but that's all right. We'll take a break real quick, do some of the commercials, and we'll be back. You're listening to Liberty Underground.
This is Gary Johnston, and you're listening to the 1787 Radio Network.
Facts about the red light cameras. Fact, you are guilty until proven innocent. The Fifth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution grants you the presumption of innocence. Fact, red light cameras cause accidents. Accidents are up on an average of 40% at intersection with cameras. Fact, cameras punish technical foul violations. Over 80% of tickets are written when the red light is on, under 1/2 second. Join the fight at www.banthecams.org. www.banthecams.org.
At Auto Body Unlimited, they work with their hands and heart to provide outstanding high-quality work and customer service. They specialize in European automobile collision repair work and refinish. At Auto Body Unlimited, they bring your car up to manufacturer standards, or they will buy your car back. They have dedicated equipment and use the same processes and paint that you would get from the factory. At Auto Body Unlimited, they don't work for the insurance company, they work for you. Auto Body Unlimited is located at 1300 Sunset Point Road in Clearwater. Call 727-443-4041 or on the web at autobodyunlimited.com. Visit Auto Body Unlimited for all of your repair needs. They work for you. If you received a ticket in Florida, contact Oropesa Law Offices, 800-774-9883 or tacklemyticket.com. Attorney Oropesa understands the stress associated with being charged with a traffic ticket. In many non-criminal ticket cases, there may be no court appearance, no points, and no traffic school. Attorney Oropesa handles criminal violations, DUI, and license suspension matters. Don't face these serious legal matters alone. Initial consultation is free. Call now and you will be advised about any potential defense, constitutional rights violations, the possibility of having your driving privileges restored, or preventing a suspension from going into effect. If you've been classified as a habitual traffic offender, have a driver's license suspension matter, or a pending DUI case, call Oropesa Law Offices now so you can be advised about your particular case. Call 1-800-774-9883 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or visit tacklemyticket.com. Main office in Pinellas County and serving all of the Tampa Bay area. Find out more at tacklemyticket.com. Mention Liberty Underground and get 25% off.
Liberty starts with a like. Facebook.com/Liberty Underground.
You know Going Postal offers shipping with UPS, FedEx, and DHL International, and they're a full-service post office. And Going Postal is not just your one-stop shop for shipping. They offer copying, laminating, faxing, packaging, and they even have a notary public service. Visit our friends at Going Postal at the following convenient locations: Palm Harbor at the corner of Tampa Road and County Road 1 in the Sweet Bay Plaza, St. Pete on 66th Street, just south of Tyrone Boulevard near Publix, and be sure to visit their newest location at 35595 US 19 North at Alderman Road next to Publix in Palm Harbor.
When the unthinkable happens, it doesn't matter if you save money in 15 minutes. It doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance you do. In this moment, what matters is the quality of your independent agent and the company that stands behind them. Auto Owners Insurance has been recognized as highest in customer satisfaction with the auto insurance claims experience 5 years in a row by J.D. Power and Associates. For award information, go to jdpower.com. Call Row Insurance in Newport Richey today at 727-376-0030.
Welcome back, Liberty Underground. If you want to call the Refresh Telecom line, the number is 1-800-525-4032.
But we won't answer till next hour because we have a guest.
Yeah, we won't answer till next hour. Sorry. We do have a guest on with us, as he is every week. Phenomenal and very, very Semper Gumby, which means always flexible. Brandon, how are you doing, sir?
I'm very blessed. How is everyone?
Doing very well. Hey, did you hear the last interview, by the way?
I caught most of that last interview, yes.
What was your thoughts on that as a solution?
You know, it's funny because I kind of had gone down the road of seeking out a career in medicine and backed off of it because I didn't feel like it was going to give me the flexibility that I thought I would have with the childhood dream, you know, grow up and be a doctor. Well, I was, till I realized that I was going to be a slave to the insurance companies. And I was like, okay, I'm not working 12, 15 hours a day to be a slave to the insurance company and be, you know, $200,000 in debt when I'm done with school. And yeah, it really is an eye-opener to hear from physicians when they really start to peel back the onion of deceit that encompasses the entire healthcare industry. And even though I still work in the industry and I work in a different faction of it, working in billing for a year and a half where I was doing quality control was an eye-opening experience when we were audited by Medicare, we were fined by Medicare, all sorts of different things that really showed a completely different perspective than what is in the media reports.
Yeah, exactly. We found, and again, it was dumb luck that we even got that interview, by the way. But and we'll tell you that one offline. But to hear what those guys are saying and how the solution. It seems so it's so easy. Like it's natural almost. Like that's what's supposed to be.
I'm wondering why nobody thought of this yet.
Right.
Well, it was Concierge always. You know what I mean? Like they got a TV show about it.
They did do this, but it was only for people who could afford. Basically, they were paying out of pocket for everything. So it was very, affluent people had concierge service. But someone finally, and these guys finally found a way to bring that to everybody with the model of concierge service, but with a membership fee where at least they knew that they have the monthly expenses paid. It's a brilliant idea.
Yeah,
it is. I love it.
Well, but what we know, it's normally a pretty slow news week between Christmas and New Year's, or I wouldn't say slow because they end up trying to bring in a whole bunch of stuff during this time frame too. But what's going on out there this week, Brandon, that people may have missed?
Well, I'm not sure that I'm the best person to ask. I've had a wonderful vacation week, and I've been able to take a breather from kind of the day-to-day ruddy aspects of the journalistic and news cycle. However, I would actually ask the question. Our headline kind of reflects this a little bit, but who is the bigger person of the year, Edward Snowden or Glenn Greenwald?
Oh, that's a good question.
That's tough.
It's basically a chicken and an egg argument, right? I mean, you don't have one without the other because of the amount of impact. And it was funny because, if Snowden hadn't done what he done, but look at how much Glenn Greenwald now is impacting the news cycles. And we have the latest interview there where he was on MSNBC, and they were challenging him on supporting Snowden. He says, well, I support Snowden the way that MSNBC supports President Obama every day.
Yeah. Oh no, that was a great way to. I saw that segment, and that was a phenomenal segment. And I got to give it to Greenwald, man. He is. When it comes, let me ask you a question on this one. I hate to ask the question with a question, but let me ask it to you this way, Brandon. Do you know that ideologically, that Glenn Greenwald is ideologically a socialist? I mean, that's what he believes. But do you know, other than like maybe Ben Swann or yourself, is there a more honest journalist out there than Glenn Greenwald?
No, there never has been either. Even during the Bush administration, the liberals love this guy. It's very anti-Bush for the deceitful approaches to the war. He kind of really anchored in on some of those different things, and that was what he reported on. And here he's got his teeth really locked into something that dates back to the Bush administration, but because there's sort of, for lack of a better word, blood on Obama's hands, the regular media doesn't really want to touch it. And Greenwald really has shown a lot of credibility. And again, I hate to give kudos to foreign press, but foreign press have different sort of perspectives on things. They have their allegiances and stuff like that too, but you can really get to a lot of truth with a lot of the foreign outlets. And Greenwald and The Guardian are really one of the best.
Yeah, I'm so. It's so amazing what these guys have put out there. We talked about it in the first hour even, but to see that it's starting to make the rounds, and even the Snowden video on Christmas, which I thought could have gone so horribly bad. Like I really thought that he could have made a really big mistake with what he was going to plan on doing. But after watching it, I was like, man, that's the perfect thing you could have said at that time. So I thought he actually has played this very well. Other than the logistics on the travel plans, like he really did not do good there in the beginning.
Right.
But since that time, though, he's done really good. What do you think about that overall?
Well, and I think that what Snowden has done is it's really added a lot of confirmation and a lot of intricate details to the programs that we already know exist. And if the mainstream press, or if an MSNBC would really latch on to this and really realize that they're policing every aspect of your life, and then if they decide that you're guilty, then they already have the file made. You'll never have a chance to ever deliberate. You'll never have a chance to defend yourself or anything. The file's already there. It's just a matter of whether or not they pull your file or not. And the Snowden-Greenwald faction, the movement that is now building behind them, is growing. It's just growing at such a slow pace. It's very discouraging.
I can understand why there's a little bit of a discouraging aspect to it. I like that it's all coming out because it does make everybody eventually they're getting more people are getting there. But you're right that the pace of it we thought would move a little bit quicker in the technology age. But you're right about that. What else is out there that you really do think that needs needs a little focus? I understand that you took a little bit of a week off yourself, so that was good. Brandon needs to right away. He's like the James Brown.
We can review. Well, there's some week in review stuff that the year in review stuff will come to a head now. We'll start to focus on some of those kinds of things. But Rand Paul had a really fun time with a Festivus, a Twitter airing of grievances. If you haven't seen that, it actually is very amusing. My favorite part, of course, is that he discussed how Ron Paul auctioned off his old '70s vehicle instead of just giving it to him. So there's really some humor in there. We did start diving into some of the bigger stories of 2013. I think we got up to post about a couple of the big murder cases that are still unresolved. Henry Johnson's death in Georgia and Brittany Royal in Hawaii and a couple of those kinds of things. I did put up a thing about the interview, some of my favorite interviews with some of the Christian musicians that we've done for the year, and we really kind of started to bundle up 2013 headed into the last couple days, and that's what we'll focus on, and keep our ears and eyes out for a big headline, but things do tend to cool down this time of the year.
And Brandon, really the question that everybody wants to ask you right now, what did you get for Christmas, and did you like it?
Oh, I make out every year at Christmas because it's the one time of the year that I get DVDs. So on Black Friday in particular, the family, they will all buy me Blu-ray discs and everything like that. So yeah, I probably have about 40 new movies to watch during 2014 that I now have on DVD or Blu-ray. So it's a wonderful time. But really, most of anything else, I really just enjoy watching my children and spending time with them. And we had just a wonderful time where all five of them are sitting around. They all start cutting up with each other and reminiscing about their childhood memories and things like that. And to me, that's the greatest part of every year that I enjoy the most.
I have a question, Brandon, and we've actually been talking. We talked about this last night. What is your preference? The kids have to open up the presents individually so you can see the reaction to it, or everybody, it's a free-for-all, they tear into everything and make a huge mess?
We actually have always done it sort of individually. Now, at times, they'll do things like, the two boys will open something at the same time, or the girls may open something at the same time because it's the same kind of gift or something like that. But because we're kind of photo junkies, we take a lot of photos and reactions, and we've done the chaos, and unfortunately it just goes by so fast you don't really get any sort of emotional reward out of it. So we've kind of always done more of a one at a time kind of approach.
Wow, man!
I
tried to start a riot at my mom's house.
I actually think it's people who enjoy taking the photos are very big on having it one by one so that they can get the photos, where we just like to see the kids have a great time, and even if it only lasts for a few minutes, the fact that they're just ripping into things, throwing it everywhere gives me a lot of joy. So at our house, the kids ripped into everything, and there was such a mess.
All right, hold on. Again, I think I'm going to wait until after Brandon's off to do that story.
Okay.
But I do want to tell that story, but I will wait till Brandon's off before I do it, because it'll take longer than 10 minutes.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that in the last hour. It's a good story though, but we'll wait till the last hour to do that. When it comes to movies, Brandon, for 2014, so we'll do a little prediction stuff moving forward here. What are the big movies in 2014 that are you think are gonna get attention?
Oh, wow. 2014 is kind of there's a lot of big movies in 2014. X-Men, of course, the X-Men Days of Future Past. Amazing Spider-Man 2 comes out. There's a lot of sequels. It's going to be the same kind of thing that we've seen over the last 2 years. You're going to finally see the Sin City sequel, a sequel to 300. You're going to have another Fast and Furious, which, I guess that's going to be delayed till 2015, they're saying. I'm not sure what they're going to do with the Fast and the Furious, but a lot of really big, high-profile sequels will come out again throughout 2014. And, of course, next Christmas, just like this one, right in the middle of December, you'll have the final Hobbit film. So a lot of that same kind of stuff that you have this year, we'll have again next year. Those kind of superhero, a lot of pop culture, a lot of popcorn movies, those kinds of things.
Well, hold on a second here. Did you say that they're making a sequel to 300?
Yes, it's called 300: Rise of an Empire, and I believe it comes out in March, but I don't have that in front of me.
Didn't 299 of them die, though?
Yeah, didn't they lose almost everybody?
Well, this expands on the story beyond just the 300 of them. It expands on, what happens. There's a little bit of a prequel setup, and then, of course, it happens. What happens after the big battle. So,
okay, because at the end of the first 300 movie, they showed that they were going against a bigger thing. So what they're going to do is the story that got them to that point then.
A little bit of that, and they're going to pick up from there and have a kind of what happens. It's a lot of naval battle stuff, like what happens next. You're going to see a lot of that. So we have that. Captain America, of course, comes out. We have the Captain America sequel, The Guardians of the Galaxy, which sets up Avengers. So a lot of superhero movies, a lot of that sci-fi stuff will continue to be in the mix. Yeah, big year in TV. I mean, a lot of TV shows. I mean, obviously, Sherlock is the big one that starts in January. Huge fan base, especially overseas, with Sherlock returning for its 3rd season. And then, of course, in February, Walking Dead's back. So right out of the gate, we'll have a lot of stuff to look forward to.
Nice. A lot of things that will be at least somewhat pleasant distractions, because anytime that there's a show about zombies walking around covering the earth, I'm thinking it's a good thing. I like it, so I'm into that. I know that Kelly and them at the house, and Danielle doesn't like the zombie movie.
We literally leave the room.
Yeah, you guys will leave the room. I don't know why. It's there's such a great human element to that story. I don't know why you guys. It's not just about zombies.
Yeah, as soon as it comes on, both of us leave the room. It's like, oh, what can we do? But I do have to say, we get a lot of laundry, dishes, and other household chores done in the time of The Walking Dead because we refuse to walk into the living room.
Man, I can't understand it, man. I really can't.
Is that why you watch Walking Dead, Alex?
I mean, knowing that is one of the benefits. But, I mean, it's not the reason, though. It's not the driver. I think it's actually a good show.
Sometimes we just have a drink and sit outside and chat. It just depends.
Yeah, more than likely. Anything... Let me ask Brandon another question to you in another way. Predictions for 2014. What do you predict as to be? And then again, I kind of want to Warshak this, so I don't even want to. I don't want to pigeonhole you in there. But like, do you have any predictions of what you think is going to happen in 2014? That might be like a surprise.
A surprise. Well, I think the point is really going to be on how people respond to Obamacare. You know, we're really going to see a new wave of some different effects that go into place. You're going to see a lot of effects in the pharmacy. You're going to see some effects on some other things. And that's going to be a huge driver on a political landscape on what the public response is to that and how the media handles that. As far as economically goes, I mean, I think that, you know, we're already a house of cards, so a lot of things are very fragile. And it's just, you know, we don't know when certain tipping points are going to happen. So as I've always told people, I said, you know, you really just have to be prepared for the worst and hope for the best. And I think that 2014 kind of bears that out. I'm not sure what other topics you'd like to kind of have my opinion on.
Here's the thing. I'm going to ask you another question. And again, I want your honest opinion. And even if the truth hurts, the truth hurts. Do you think that at the end of 2014, politically, when it comes to elections, that you are going to see, and I'm going to give you 3 options. If you have a fourth, then go with a fourth. But I'm going to give you 3 options. One, that the Republicans take over the House and this, or that they still have the House, that the Republicans take over the Senate, and that for the next 2 years, you're basically going to be dealing with a Republican-controlled House, Republican-controlled Senate, and, you know, Barack Obama. B, that you actually see Democrats pick up seats because more people vote Democrat. Or C, let me give you that. Okay, that's a good B. Or C, that you actually see either libertarians or independents or a third party actually start picking up some gains electorally on a federal level?
I would say in the Senate, I expect status quo. It could go a little bit more Republican, but I definitely don't see it swinging where they have actually control. The House has a lot more flexibility to that. If there's any place where a third party and libertarians can get a seat, that's obviously where it is. However, I don't honestly believe that is happening yet, but I do think that we can see continued movement with percentages, which is definitely hopeful, but I'm not sure it's going to manifest itself in 2014 yet.
I got you. Okay, no, fair enough. Now, and the reason I brought up the Democrats gaining seats was that you did see a large percentage of libertarian or people going libertarian or going third party, but because of that, then you would have, you know, some would win that weren't supposed to win, or you know, just different things. Like if you got a really bad Republican candidate and then there's a good libertarian out there, And the Republican can't bring out his base, and then the Libertarian brings out a little bit of the base, and then the Democrat ends up winning. You know, a lot of the claims of the split the vote stuff, which I don't really put any buy in personally. But last thing though, Brandon, when it comes to the Global Dispatch, do you guys have anything in 2014 that you guys are going to be putting out there that's new? I mean, other than news stories and stuff.
Well, you're going to see the Outbreak News of the week. Probably go to an hour show. We're looking at springtime for that, so they'll be on the radio for an hour. You'll see a mass amount of interviews. We've already been doing that, but you'll see even a better and stronger rollout of that throughout 2014. So you'll see a big interview box when you log on to the Dispatch. You'll see that there, and hopefully we'll be able to launch some new blogs and some new writers and things like that. We're working on several of those things, but nothing that's manifested. I think the biggest thing is just that what you're going to get from us, that we're being honest and fair the best we can, trying to be objective. And we definitely, if anything else, we're willing to give you a microphone. We're willing to give you a time to, put your voice and your word out there.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, his name is Brandon. The website is theglobaldispatch.com. Brandon, thank you so much. We appreciate the time, sir.
You guys take care. Have a happy new year. And for the last time of 2013, remember, talk hard.
Talk hard. All right. Thank you very much, Brandon. We appreciate it, brother. Man, it's always nice to talk to Brandon. He always makes me feel better.
Love Brandon.
It's all going to be okay. It's Brandon. It's going to be all right, Brandon. Thanks, buddy.
He's very optimistic, and sometimes we can be a little doom and gloom.
Yeah, no, and I think that what Brandon does is he brings a different perspective on the show, and that what we do is every week that Brandon's on, he kind of goes into his take on some of the more important issues that we're bringing up that day. A lot of times they bring, if you watch some of the other shows, they bring 3 different guys in to talk about the same stuff. I think just bringing one in like Brandon does that job. Again, guys, this is the last show for 2013. We thank you very much. The website, 1787network.com. There is another hour to the show, but it won't be on Tan Talk 1340. It will be on the 1787 Network YouTube channel. We suggest you guys go there, but we will see you guys next year.
If we don't see you in the next hour.
We
hope to see you in the next hour. We hope you're going to keep listening.
We hope you're going to keep listening. If not, we'll see you next year. At this point, I'm actually waiting for the music to go in, but we'll do what we got to do here. I like that. There you go, man. Working it. Little Jordan Page there. Again, guys, 1787network.
Hi, this is Gary Johnston, and you're listening to the 1787 Radio Network.
Facts about the red light cameras. Fact. You are guilty until proven innocent. The Fifth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution grants you the presumption of innocence. Fact. Red light cameras cause accidents. Accidents are up on an average of 40% at intersection with cameras. Fact. Cameras punish technical foul violations. Over 80% of tickets are written when the red light is on, under 1/2 second. Join the fight at www.banthecams.org. www.banthecams.org.
At Auto Body Unlimited, they work with their hands and heart to provide outstanding high-quality work and customer service. They specialize in European automobile collision repair work and refinish. At Auto Body Unlimited, they bring your car up to manufacturer standards, or they will buy your car back. They have dedicated equipment and use the same processes and paint that you would get from the factory. At Auto Body Unlimited, they don't work for the insurance company, they work for you. Auto Body Unlimited is located at 1300 Sunset Point Road in Clearwater. Call 727-443-4041 or on the web at autobodyunlimited.com. Visit Auto Body Unlimited for all of your repair needs. They work for you. If you received a ticket in Florida, contact Oropesa Law Offices, 800-774-9883 or tacklemyticket.com. Attorney Oropesa understands the stress associated with being charged with a traffic ticket. In many non-criminal ticket cases, there may be no court appearance, no points, and no traffic school. Attorney Oropesa handles criminal violations, DUI, and license suspension matters. Don't face these serious legal matters alone. Initial consultation is free. Call now and you will be advised about any potential defense, constitutional rights violations, the possibility of having your driving privileges restored, or preventing a suspension from going into effect. If you've been classified as a habitual traffic offender, have a driver's license suspension matter, or a pending DUI case, call Oropesa Law Offices now so you can be advised about your particular case. Call 1-800-774-9883 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or visit tacklemyticket.com. Main office in Pinellas County and serving all of the Tampa Bay area. Find out more at tacklemyticket.com. Mention Liberty Underground and get 25% off.
Liberty starts with a like. Facebook.com/Liberty Underground.
You know Going Postal offers shipping with UPS, FedEx, and DHL International, and they're a full-service post office. And Going Postal is not just your one-stop shop for shipping. They offer copying, laminating, faxing, packaging, and they even have a notary public service. Visit our friends at Going Postal at the following convenient locations: Palm Harbor at the corner of Tampa Road and County Road 1 in the Sweet Bay Plaza, St. Pete on 66th Street just south of Tyrone Boulevard near Publix, and be sure to visit their newest location at 35595 US 19 North at Alderman Road next to Publix in Palm Harbor.
When the unthinkable happens, it doesn't matter if you save money in 15 minutes. It doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance you do. In this moment, what matters is the quality of your independent agent and the company that stands behind them. Auto Owners Insurance has been recognized as highest in customer satisfaction with the auto insurance claims experience 5 years in a row by J.D. Power and Associates. For award information, go to jdpower.com. Call Row Insurance in Newport Richey today at 727-376-0030.
Welcome back, Liberty Underground. Hang on, I got ice in my mouth.
You brought him back right as he was like...
All right, if you want to call the program, the Refresh Telecom line, 1-800-525-4032. That's 1-800-525-4032. If you'd like to call the program and say something, you wish us just Merry Christmas or Happy New Year or Happy Festivus or Happy Kwanzaa or whatever, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you do, you just let me know. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to give you the Christmas story, though. We'll go right into the Christmas story this hour. Every year, everybody has their rituals as Christmas goes, and my family is no different. However, I have two sisters. I have an older sister and I have a younger sister. And my older sister is the person that's like Greg and Danielle, where they want to do it one at a time and have this kind of thing. So
Wait. I didn't say I wanted to do it.
Oh, no, you're not. Yeah, you're not like that. I'm sorry. You're more with me. You're more with me. So this year, and this goes on every year. So it's not even like this year is the only year that it happened. It goes on every year. But basically, there's this little strange kind of thing goes on at the house at Christmas morning because we all go to my mom's house.
Not our house. At our house, we actually it's
kids, anarchy.
It's actually you kind of got up. The kids woke up and it was like, okay, come on, Alex, get out of bed. The kids want to open their presents, and they waited just a few minutes. Alex got up, but then he's like, since you had to wait, it's my rules, and it's complete anarchy. And the kids loved it. They just went nuts, tearing into everything. Our house looked like Christmas wrapping paper store threw up in it.
Yeah.
There was stuff everywhere.
Because you know what? It's Christmas now. Your name's on it. You own the present. Do what you want.
So there was wrapping paper. You couldn't walk in our living room without walking on wrapping paper. There was gifts everywhere. The kids would open something and be like, this is awesome, then throw it behind them and go to the next one. It was complete chaos.
Complete anarchy. I love it. That's what I like.
And they loved it.
So we go to my mom's house, right? And my sister's there. Now, my sister and her husband, Ray, stayed the night. So they were there at night and then woke up in the morning and they were still there. And then we come over about, 11 o'clock, but then they moved it back to noon. Now that I'm getting older, it's like they moved Christmas at my mom's house back further and further. When I was a kid, it was like 7 and 8 in the morning I was opening up presents.
Because you live there.
Yeah, because I live there.
But now we have our own stuff with the kids, and then we go there.
Yeah, so it's not till noon that we're not even getting into this business. But there's one rule that has stayed mainstay this whole time, and that is when you get there, you can open up your stocking right away.
Right.
So when I get there, I grab a box, because I know the rules. You know, I grab a box, I stick the box on the side, and I go and I open up the stocking.
His stocking.
Now, my mother, hold on, Santa.
It's your stocking. It has your name on it.
Yeah, my stocking's got my name on it, but Santa, in the stocking every year, puts fingernail clippers in them. All of them.
All of them. Everybody gets them.
Every year, all of us get fingernail clippers.
Right.
From Santa.
Now, I'm not officially part of the family, so I did not have a stocking with nail clippers, but I live with two people who are, so we have 2 new sets of nail clippers.
So you can't take your stocking on a plane, is what you're telling me.
My stocking will not make it through the TSA checkpoint. That's true. That's very, very true, Greg.
Right.
So, but the rest of the presents are all sitting underneath there, and nobody can touch them.
And there's presents everywhere because it's all the adults. There's what
I have two sisters, so
and then they're each
and
married.
then all of them and they're all married. So then they have a husband. There's husbands.
And then me and you and Kelly.
Yeah.
So that's the adults, and then there's a ton of children.
Then there's a whole bunch of kids. then Then Jenny's kids. Then there's other kids. Yeah, Jason's kids. There's other kids involved here. So there's
lots of kids. So this is a house full of people and presents for all of these people under the tree.
Yeah. So, but when we get there, nobody can touch nothing, right? So and then finally, all the other kids start showing up, and then my mom makes the little. Those little rolls that you can get where you put like the icing on them?
Like the cinnamon rolls, but they're like the orange kind. And there was quiche.
Orange cinnamon rolls.
We had a very yummy brunch at your mom's house.
It was a lot of good
really
stuff going on there. They put mushrooms in the quiche, so it was good.
Ooh, hallucinations for the rest of Christmas.
Not those kind of mushrooms.
I really wish one year
I was going to come to your house for Christmas.
Well, one year we ought to say we'll make the quiche and switch the mushrooms out.
And just watch everybody.
Just watch everybody go, man, this is great. Like no presents would ever be opened, but everybody thought they opened them all.
Ever.
This is amazing. We should do that one year. We'll have to make the quiche next year.
Not with the kids. It'll have to be when the kids are all older.
Got to make 2 quiches.
That's right. 2 quiches.
2 quiches.
Sounds like a movie. 2 quiches. All right. So what it looks like then is that all the kids are there, so they're all sitting down in front of the tree now, and that's when my sister goes fascist on us all.
She becomes the authoritarian psychopath of Christmas.
Now what she does, and I see it. She may not know that I know that she's doing this, but she totally does this. The way that she handles it is nobody's allowed under the tree to get a present but her.
Well,
so she handles the flow.
What she did was first she said, everybody has to open the presents one at a time so that I can take pictures. Then Alex said, that's ridiculous. These are children. Just let them open them all up. So then she goes, well, that's fine. I don't care. And then she sat in front of the tree, being the only person that could hand someone a gift.
Yeah. So she's there.
So she found the loophole to Alex's let's have chaos.
So she's and I start yelling, and I start going anarchy, anarchy, anarchy. All the other little kids there are going anarchy, anarchy, anarchy.
It is a child mutiny.
Yeah. So there's a riot going on in the house at this point. Carrie's flipping out because she realizes she got caught.
And now
got caught.
Me and Kelly are sitting off to the side, both going, I'm so glad I'm not in the middle of that mess.
Now, what happens is I say that anarchy a couple times, and then I walk out of the room.
Yeah.
So he leaves.
Start it and leave.
He leaves with the child mutiny and Carrie to deal with like the 7 children with the mutiny.
Yeah. Basically, it was.
He starts the mutiny and jumps on the lifeboat.
I shook the soda can. Set it off. Go ahead, open that thing. Opened it. Got the hell out.
Right. So now the kids did get to, because she was handing them out pretty quickly, so they did get to kind of open them. But she's now yelling at Ray, her husband, and everybody else, hurry up and take pictures.
Yeah. So then a whole bunch of people had to get cameras and stuff to start taking pictures just to grab what they could. Which is the way it should be. Because it's anarchy.
Just log the chaos. That's all you can do.
Yeah. Do the best you can.
But she did have one great idea, and that was to have all the kids open their gifts, and then they took their toys into another room, and then the adults got to open theirs. So the adults got adult time where everybody was opening their gifts, being able to say thank you and appreciate everything without a million kids in the middle of the room going, fuck! out and throwing things in your face.
I do consider that to be very elitist and very exclusionary.
I thought it was great.
Again, I'm anarchy the whole time. I'm anarchy, man. On Christmas morning, it should be mass chaos. And that you don't even, you got to protect yours. You know what I mean? You got to go in there, get yours, and get the hell out. You got to do that. That's why I set up right. I got the box off on the corner over there. Now the problem is that I set the box up, and then I left the room. When I came back, somebody was sitting in the spot where my box was.
Next to his box.
So, but that person had to pay though, and the reason they had to pay was every time I got something, I'd be like, "There you go, put that in the box." So, you want to sit there, man? That my box had the seat. You know what I'm saying? It was a box seat right off the bat.
So, but
luckily, up to the point now where all I get's Jack Daniels. So,
which is so funny because you opened the Jack Daniels and me and Kelly were like, "Look, we got a present."
Yeah. I mean, I drink it too.
Okay, compared to how?
Well, compared to you, Luscious, no, I'm not on your level.
What do you mean I'm hard to shop for? Surely you know where the liquor store is.
Yeah. Well, they did a little mix-up. They did a little mixing too thing where they give you the chocolate liquors too.
So
I got little bottles of chocolate liquors too, though. So I'm really living the dream right now.
Yeah.
Nice.
Which will mostly go to me and Kelly, anyways.
More than likely. But
every time Alex gets a gift of a bottle of Jack, he gets like 2 drinks out of it, and me and Kelly get the rest.
Don't feel bad, man. The stuff I bought for you guys, I'm end up using myself too. But I got Danielle like a little, those foam pillows.
Yeah.
The travel pillows.
Yeah.
We drive a lot, right?
We drive a lot.
So she's never got a pillow to be able to lay her head on, right? So we got her foam pillow to lay her head on that thing. Don't think I ain't gonna use that thing when I'm driving.
Well, of course, because sometimes we switch off, and I drive, and then he's sleeping.
You're gonna be driving a lot more now. Just wanted you to know.
No, you did really good for me and Kelly.
Yeah.
You really did. They were very thoughtful gifts. They were really nice, and now me and Kelly actually.
I got Kelly a personal massager.
Yeah.
Not that kind.
Not that kind.
not like that.
Not the.
Hold on, that was fun. Hold on, I'll tell you that story too. That was actually. You want me to tell you that story too? That was a good story.
Oh, go ahead.
Me going Christmas shopping?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll tell you where I went. That way you'll understand why I called it a personal massager. So I have to go Christmas shopping. So these ladies,
I was like,
Danielle,
you need to pull it
Kelly,
on camera and be like, look, it's not that kind.
Yeah. So Danielle and Kelly, they enjoy Christmas, and I don't. I have a moment or two that I enjoy Christmas, but other than that, I just don't.
But there was chaos, and all the kids were smiling.
That's the one part I enjoy.
Fun.
Well, yeah, because if I can cause some chaos, then that's actually a good time. So I have to go shopping though for these ladies.
Wait,
right?
I just have to say this.
And for Mikey.
That there was so much mess in the living room that Alex actually opened his presents standing outside the front door.
That is true. That is true. Just because I like the chaos doesn't mean I want to be in the middle of it.
I want to start the chaos and walk away.
Yes.
And let you guys deal with it.
Outside the front door with his gifts right inside the door, and he would open it up so we could see and be like, thanks, this is great.
Yeah.
He was outside.
Yeah, I was outside. That's true. So as I'm going to, I know I got to buy these ladies something, but I always hold off until at least one of the last minutes that I can do this, right? So on Sunday, I went with Adrian down to Miami. And so I'm heading back from that. And I left my car at Yeehaw Junction. So Adrian went one way at Yeehaw Junction, and I kept going north. 60. We're 60 in the Turnpike Meet, basically. It's a place called Yeehaw Junction. Which if you've never been there, go there because it's just cool to say Yeehaw Junction.
I have. It's awesome.
It is awesome.
And there's nothing there but 2 gas stations and an old
motel.
I would love to own the old motel, though.
Which, if I understand correctly, used to be a brothel.
Yes, I believe so.
I think it was like the first brothel in Florida.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
I definitely want to buy that then. Make it like a historical kind of thing. I want to turn it into a historical site.
I think it is. I think that's why it's still there.
It doesn't look that historical to me. It just looks old.
Well, that's really
clean it up a little. Well, we need to clean it up a little bit, though. Clean it up a little bit, make it look fun.
So tell the story.
Yeah.
So I'm on the way back, and I'm like, I got to stop by the store. Where am I going to go? Now, at this moment in time, for these kinds of for what I need, because I have no idea what to buy people. So what I have to do is I have to go to the mall, which is not fun. But I don't want to go to Walmart or anything like that because that's too much stuff.
It's even less fun.
Yeah, it's even less fun. But the mall at least has different stores, so you can go, I wonder what's in that store and what's in that store. But you know that the parking lots there are just horrendous, right? So I have a strategy. The strategy is you go one of the big box retailers that are there. JCPenney, Sears, something like that. And you park in the end of their parking lot, which means a lot more walking, but Not really. I mean,
you can get in and out easier.
You can get in and out easier. Yeah, you can get in, you can get out. So I park over near the, I believe it's JCPenney's at
Mall at Millennia.
No, International Mall. No, not International Mall.
You're talking about, that was the second.
The one off of
mall.
OBT. The one off of OBT.
Mall at Millennia.
I don't think that's the Mall at Millennia. Mall at Millennia is the one off of I-4.
No, the Mall at Millennia is on Conroy Road and
used to be called the Florida Mall.
and the Turnpike.
No, Florida Mall is what it's called.
Yeah, that's Mall at Millennia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it used to be Florida Mall. Now
it's Mall at Millennia.
Okay, so at any rate, so I park there, and then I start going in, and I get
malls.
I get into the JCPenney's, and I'm starting to just fast walk around places looking for stuff to buy. And I just look at the name of the store, and I'm like, well, okay, go on. And then I keep going, and I'm going in, and I'm one person. That's the key. You go to the mall, you go as a one person, because you can move in and out. If you got two people, you're waiting on somebody else, and things are moving around, and you have to be instant decision-making ability here. Mm-hmm. So I'm walking up and down, and finally get to Brookstone. Now, Brookstone is actually, I think, is a pretty cool store. There's always like nice little neat gadgets in there, right?
Yeah.
So I get into Brookstone, and I'm starting to look around. Now, the first thing I run into, by the way.
Which is funny.
This is an insult. Brookstone is selling sand. I mean, like from the beach sand, they're selling sand.
In Florida.
In Florida.
Now that's brilliant.
They said it was like some kind of special sand or whatever, which is BS all day long. And I walk in there, and there's a guy playing with the sand.
Oh, wait, is that magic sand?
Is that what it is?
Magic that stuff is awesome,
not
dude.
Not the magic sand where you can compact it. No.
Oh, okay.
No, I think it is something I think they considered it magic.
Because you can, like, play with it and form it into things.
Can you
and
Oh, that's not sand.
It's called sand. Right?
It's magic sand.
It's magic sand.
Well, okay, look, you can put the word magic in front of it. It's still sand. I can take some sand out here and call it magic sand, too. And
yeah, but it won't form into structures.
But yes, it will. Add water.
Okay.
Never mind.
Not the same.
Okay, maybe it's not the same. Okay, I'll go with that. I'll agree with you there. So I get there, and I look at this, and this guy's playing with it, and I start berating, not the guy, but I'm berating the fact that they're selling sand. And I go, I really can't believe they're selling frickin' sand here, right? And I just go into this diatribe, this little mini rant about sand. So much so, the guy dropped the sand he was playing with and started walking away from it because I think he was embarrassed. And I go, dude, I'm sorry, man. I'm not trying to make fun. I'm sure you're here having a good time, whatever. I can't believe they're selling sand here, man. And he's like, yeah, I totally understand what you're saying, right? So, and then he walked away, though, probably because he was scared. So I start walking around the mall, and I am Brookstone, and I'm like, well, this might be the store where I can get some stuff, right? So I see these two people that are playing with this massager. I guess that doesn't sound
it's
right.
Usually
either.
one person, but yeah.
There's two people. There's husband and wife.
This story's getting better.
It's a back massager. This is not like it's one of those things with like the 4 feet and you
3 feet.
Is it 3?
Yeah, it's only 3.
Okay.
So there's this woman, their husband and wife, that's using the massager, right? And so I stop.
Wow, did you get it on video?
No. So I stop them and I go, let me ask you a question. I'm like, are you? And I asked this woman. I started saying, are you the kind of woman that if somebody tries to rub your back, that you get it like it hurts? Because whenever I try to rub my wife's back, my hands are always maybe too strong or whatever. But she's just real sensitive too, though. It just hurts, right? So I'm like, does this hurt? When you normally? She's like, yeah, I have that kind of pain. I'm like, well, does this massager do that or does it help? And she's like, no, it helps. And I'm like, thank you very much. I appreciate you, give me the answers to these questions. I'm going to buy it now. And so the lady was, like, thank you, and was looking a little weird.
Weird guy.
By this time, I've probably talked to enough people in the store that the people that work there are starting to get a little nervous. So because they started to get a little nervous, that means that they bring the guy in like, hey, how can I help you? And he's like, hey, can I help you? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I'm looking for this. I got to buy for, I got to buy presents. And I got to buy for these people and stuff like that. And they're like, okay. I'm like, what do you got? And so he's naming this off. I'm like, now, this off now. Saw a pillow. I'm like, oh, you know what, man? Love that. They're like, you can buy 2 of these for this price right here. And I'm like, but I don't want 2 of the same thing. I want 2. And he's like, you can do the same thing with massagers where 2 of them is only this much. And I'm like, I just want 1 of each. Don't worry about it. No big deal. So he gives me the 1 of each there. And I pull those up, and I'm starting to walk through, and then I find a T-shirt place, and I got Mikey a little T-shirt. It's a black T-shirt in red lettering that says "Like a Boss." So
it's cute.
Awesome. It is really cute. It is actually really cute. So I got that for Mikey too, and then I'm getting ready to walk out. There's like one more present I gotta buy, and I got a kiosk attack. You know what a kiosk attack is? It's when you're walking in the mall and somebody from the kiosk tries to get you. Well, these are the people that are selling the Dead Sea salt.
Yes.
If you're not familiar, you know the Dead Sea in Israel,
yes.
right? Okay. So these were Israel people that were selling Dead Sea salt. Now, I happen to know Dead Sea salt. I happen to have swam in the Dead Sea, surprisingly enough. And this stuff is as advertised. This stuff will work for, like, I had cuts all over my body the day that I went into the Dead Sea, and I was dirty too. But I was all cut up from being in the field.
Well, you're always dirty.
That's true. But I was healed all my cuts were healed the next day. Like when I went into the Dead Sea, when I got out the next day, like I was never even in the field. Like when it came to cuts and scrapes and stuff like that. So this stuff works, man. Works like a mug. So she starts talking to me about the Dead Sea salt, and I'm like, I'm pretty familiar with it. And she was kind of cute, she was a cute little girl. And we start talking, and finally, she talked me into buying the Dead Sea salt.
Right.
But the thing was this though, and she was good at what she did, but just to see the markup, like the bottle that they wanted to sell me was like, she's like, well, it's like $69. And I'm like, look, I have a budget, and that is over the budget. And so she's like, well, let me give you the card in case things change. And when she does, she pulls me back over to the side and goes, well, I'm normally not supposed to do this, but for $25, I can actually sell it to you for this. But I'm not supposed to do this. I'm like, and I didn't tell her what my budget was, but she made it under the budget. And I'm like, okay, all right, we're on the 25 here. So we do the 25, and when we're all good from there. And then I finally make it out of the mall, and I get out of there. Now I had to go get one more thing at another place. So on the way home from Orlando, I had to go to West Shore. So I'm heading from Orlando to Tampa at the stop at West Shore on Monday night. Yeah, Monday night. It's packed. But what I did was the same thing there. In West Shore, you can go park at like the Sears Auto Center area. Mm-hmm. I'm around 20 empty spots around this thing, right? And it's right on the way out. So I park there because I had to go to another store over there. And so I park there, walk in, store's right there, walk right back out. So my shopping experience, and that was all my shopping experience. My whole shopping was done those two instances. So I'm feeling pretty good about that, actually. I was not nearly as stressed. Like if I have to go there with Danielle, Kelly, Mikey, like I'm really not going to be a happy camper. I'm going to be an unhappy camper.
Yeah.
Which is nice that they know this, so they don't ever ask me to go.
We never ask him to go shopping with us, like ever.
That sucks.
Ever. I think me and you stopped at a grocery store once, and even that I was like, by the end, I'm never bringing you into the grocery store again.
Yeah. You don't want to bring me.
So no, we never ask him, but it's nice because we get to go. We go together. And,
have fun.
And you stay with Mikey, and we get to go, and we'll stop and get coffees, and we'll make a nice day out of it, and you get to stay home and be in your cave, and
I'm happy.
He gets his spot, and
everybody's happy.
There you go. That's all that matters. It's America.
That's why this all works.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the Christmas story. That's both Christmas stories, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Greg, do you have any interesting Christmas stories you'd like to share?
I really don't. Oh. I have nothing that competes with that.
We opened presents and had breakfast. We had funnel cakes for breakfast on Christmas.
Oh, that is true.
See, the only thing that was really worth telling about my Christmas is all the adults were woken up by my 5-year-old already opening presents. We had got him a bunch of Legos, and one of them was a Lego tow truck with a sports car and everything. So we're laying in bed, we hear him, a tow truck! So we all decide, well, we better get out of bed. He's out there opening presents.
Nice!
Yeah.
Nice!
So he's way more into the anarchy than even you are.
That's awesome.
Like, I ain't even waiting for people to wake up.
I'm adopting that kid, man. That's what I'm doing. You bring him over here, man, have a good time.
We had funnel cakes for breakfast, and my daughter she had gotten a gift card early. So, and God bless Kelly, that has patience. Like, my kids got gift cards before Christmas, so they wanted to go to Walmart right away. But it's Christmas Eve. Walmart is packed. Yeah. And Kelly's like, okay, let's go. So now me and Kelly are miserable in a Walmart going, oh my gosh, just pick something. You know? As they're like down each and every aisle, like, I don't know. Like talking it out, you know? But my daughter ended up with a funnel cake maker for Christmas. And my son ended up with a couple other, you know, he was a boy, he wanted boy stuff, and it was cool. But so we brought it home, but we by the time we got home and we ate dinner and everything, and we didn't have time to make funnel cakes that night, so I was like, we could do it for breakfast. So of course, in the morning, everyone remembers. So our Christmas breakfast was actually funnel cakes. And they were good.
Nice.
They were good.
They were really good.
They were good. The only thing I would say about mine is that it wasn't. It was too glumpy at one point. Like, it needs to be more, like.
Sorry, was it too thick in the middle?
Yeah. Too thick in the middle. Yeah.
And by the time we got to yours,
thinner.
we were running out of sugar too, so you didn't get as much sugar as everybody else.
Yeah, that was the other thing I was going to say too, but I'm glad that you said that because mine was. I don't know why I didn't get the good piece of funnel cake. It's like getting the small piece of chicken.
No, because the kids got the funnel cakes first.
Well, do you really think that those guys should have got the funnel cakes first, or do you think I should?
It's Christmas. They're kids. Like, Christmas is the one time where the kids trump you. Yeah, that's the way it is.
Right,
that's the rules.
All right, we'll go with it.
So you didn't have any crazy, like...
Nothing.
It was fun. I wish we'd have videotaped it, and I'll tell you what, that way people wouldn't think we're lying.
It was complete chaos.
Just to hear all the kids going, anarchy, anarchy, anarchy.
That's awesome.
It was hysterical.
Then I walked out and had a cigarette.
And then he left. I was like, where are you going? And me and Kelly were like off to the side going, I'm so glad I'm not in the middle of that whole mess.
Yeah, because my sister was pissed. But she also realized that she lost. Like, it was a losing battle at that point because all the kids were starting to scream now too. And everybody's looking like, oh boy, how are we going to shut these kids up? And Carrie doesn't have any kids. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Oh, so she doesn't even know how to deal with the situation anyway.
Well, no, I wouldn't necessarily say that because she does. I mean, she does. She does have, like, you know, she's one. She was 8 years older than we were, so like she had to deal with us when we were kids.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
And then she's dealt with our kids as well. So
She does pretty well.
she does all right for herself.
She can
But
hold her own.
She can control the situation, but she was in an uncontrollable situation, and so she didn't know what to do with that.
Because even the adults were kind of like, well, Alex has a point.
Yeah, which only happens like once a year at Christmas. That's like a different Christmas present.
So she was way outnumbered. So it came down to yelling at, you know, take pictures, you know, as the kids started opening.
That's awesome.
So there was mass chaos. There was mass chaos in our house because there was no rules, and then there was mass chaos at Alex's mom's house because there was a fight between the rules and chaos.
Yeah.
It sounds like there was more chaos where someone tried to put rules in, and it just created a bigger mess.
Well, it created an opportunity for a little civil disobedience.
And there definitely was. It was a good time though. I think we had a really good Christmas.
I really did just start yelling, anarchy!
You did.
Anarchy! Like, I was yelling it. And
all
the
the
kids were
kids
like,
did.
yeah, we're going to get out, you know.
The kids didn't even realize what the word anarchy meant.
It meant that they could open up presents quicker, and they loved it.
Because he was talking about opening up all the presents, and that's what he started yelling, they were like, man, that must be like French for opening presents. Like,
And now Uncle Alex is everyone's favorite.
No, I'm probably still not.
But it was
only at Christmas.
Because I gotta tell you what, in one area that I do like try to be a little bit of
authoritarian psychopath?
A little bit, maybe exclusionary, is that if we are going to have an adults time area, then it needs to be the adults time area. And so I have one little niece who is
she's the same age as my daughter, so she's 12.
yeah, she's 12. Well, I don't think that you should be in the adults area.
Right.
So if we're going to have one, then you need to leave. And she didn't leave. And I said to her, you really should leave. You're a kid. Go over there with the other kids. I'm not a kid. No, you're a kid. Go over there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I lost that one, but I didn't care at that point.
But she was coming in and out. She actually didn't stay the whole time.
I just wanted to make it known that you're not an adult.
You're not old enough to be.
Yeah,
in
you're
it.
not
You got
old
ID?
enough to be. Yeah.
Till you get a job.
Am I being detained?
Yeah. Till you're buying other people presents.
Right.
Not by getting a loan from your mom. All right. Now, Danielle, you were looking at. No, back to the news.
Back to what the show's about.
Well, I think that part was funny. Though.
It was.
But let's go to this. What are you looking at right now,
I
Danielle?
actually found this over the weekend, and George Mason University did a study on how free each state was, and they actually broke it up into a bunch of different categories. So they have fiscal freedom, regulatory freedom, personal freedom, economic. It's pretty extensive. Liability system, property rights, tax burden, marriage, family friendliness, finding a job, education, occupational licensing, victimless crimes, health insurance, labor markets, homeschooling, alcohol, asset forfeiture, right to work, gambling. Okay, there's a lot more. I'm not going to go through them all. I just realized how long the list was.
All right, so let's go. And where's Florida in the overall?
Overall, Florida, in the sense of freedom, is number 23.
Now it says also there is a change. It's up five
We're
places.
up 5 places from 2009, but we're still down. We were at number 8. We were at number 12 in 2001. So we were 12th in freedom overall in 2001. We are now at 23, but in 2009 we had hit 28.
All right, so let's go through what's the first one up there, fiscal?
Fiscal freedom, we actually do better than the overall. We're at number 11 in fiscal freedom.
But we were in the top 10 in 01.
Yes, in 01 we were actually number 5.
Okay.
So we've gone down, and then gone a little up.
And I think our lack of state income tax kind of puts us ahead of the curve
That's
in
why
a lot of
fiscal
ways.
freedom, because we have no state income tax, that actually keeps us pretty high.
All right.
In regulatory freedom, we're at number 32. So we have a lot of regulations.
We do.
And I had read into a lot of this.
And that's up 4 points from 09.
This is up 4 from 09. We definitely have a lot of regulations, and this is not business regulations. This is like zoning and things like that.
But it's been about the same even since 2001.
Yeah, now in 2001, we were, about 35.
Yeah. It stayed in that same 5% range the entire time.
Yeah. So personal freedom, we're way down. In personal freedom, we're number 36 in the country.
Down 12?
And we're down 12.
From 09?
From 2009.
Oh.
Now, in 2001, we were at 29. So we're way down.
Yeah, we're at 36 now.
Yeah, we're at 36. In economic freedom, we're number 17.
But in 2001, we were number 10.
We were number 10, and in 2009, we had hit, looks like 28.
Yeah, so it was a dip, and now it's on the way back up.
Right.
All right.
Our liability system, and this is tort abuse. People who abuse the court system. We're number 41.
Damn.
So we have a lot of judicial
And we were
abuse.
in the mid-30s even in 01.
In 01, yeah.
All right.
Property rights.
Not a damn thing's changed.
Nothing has changed, but we're at number 32.
And we've always been at 32.
We've always been at 32.
Yeah.
Now, in
Hey,
tax...
by the way, hold on a second. Republican-controlled House, Republican-controlled Senate, Republican governor the entire time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Our tax burden, we're number 16. So our freedom from tax burden, we're number 16. So
In 01, we were at like 9. We were in the top 10.
Yeah, we were in the top 10 in 2001. So kind of, low there. In
And again,
marriage,
that's the lack of income tax.
yeah.
Yeah, that has a big left.
And that's a big thing. Marriage freedom, we're at number 40. We have a very restrictive marriage laws.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Family friendliness in freedoms, we're number 17.
Family-friendly freedoms. What the heck does even that even mean?
This would be a lot of adoption regulations and things that have to do with, how the family can connect to each other.
I got you. And we're at 17 right now.
We're at number 17. Right. Now, finding a job, also number 17.
Down 1, though.
We're down 1 in finding a job since 2009.
I got you. But in 07, it was... no. In 07, it was even worse.
Right.
But it's always been between the 10 and 20% range.
Yeah.
10 and 20 rank range.
Yeah. Our education, we're actually number 1 for education freedom.
Well, that's because we are very accommodating to homeschooling here in Florida.
Oh,
one
is that
of,
what
one
it
of
is?
the
That is
most
what-
accommodating states in the U.S. for homeschooling.
We are one of the easiest states to pull your child out of public school and homeschool them.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, that's good.
Occupational licensing, we're number 47.
And that does not shock me at all because it is so difficult.
Matter of fact, from 09, it's gotten worse. We went down a spot from that. And we've
I
always
w-
been in the 40 to 50
I wouldn't be
range.
shocked if we end up at the bottom on that one at 50. at
We
some
are
point.
Or
we're-
47, so.
We put
Yeah, well,
we put a
ain't
lot
got
of
much further to go.
We put a lot of licensing to be able to start a business here. It's very difficult to start a business. Victimless crimes, we're number 38. So that's a-
Victimless crime freedom.
Yeah.
And that's gotten worse since 07.
That's worse. 2000 and we're on a steady decline from 2007 and 2009.
But it was all the same from 01 to 07, it looks like.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it looks like we were always about 32 from 2001 to 2007. From 2007 now till now, we're on a steady decline. Health insurance, we're number 24.
I wonder what caused that 11 change, to go 11 up, though. What was the thing that caused
Probably
it,
because we didn't institute the healthcare exchange.
I got you.
Our labor markets, we're number 4. And that is actually because we're a right-to-work state. We don't have unions. Unions don't have as much power in the state of Florida as they would in other places.
Yeah.
Homeschooling, we're number 19.
Well, it's weird that we're number 1 there, but 19 in the homeschool, though.
We're actually very easy to homeschool and to private school. So I think that's why we ended up number 1 in education, but a little further down in homeschooling.
Okay.
Alcohol freedom, we're number 21. We still have quite a bit of regulations on when you can purchase alcohol and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You get all the Sunday morning rules and all that other crap.
Asset forfeiture freedom, we're actually number 4, which means we have fairly good eminent domain rules as far as private property goes. The government has to pay if they take your land.
I got you. Okay.
We are number 1 in right to work freedom, which we knew that. We're a
Yeah.
right to work state. That's something that's,
And we're number 1 in a tie.
in a tie. Yeah. Gambling freedom, we're number 20.
Yeah. Well, it's you know why we're 20 in gambling freedom, right?
Because you have to be an Indian to own a casino.
Yeah, because you got to be an Indian. But there,
Or the
but-
government.
But the reason we're 20, though, is because the government has a whole bunch of gambling options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the idiot tax.
Tobacco freedom, we're number 28. We're down, and the reason why we're down so much in this is because of all the restrictions on where you can smoke.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Gun control, we're number 29.
Down 3 from
And we're
09.
down 3 from 09. Now, that is some of Rick Scott's legislation, that he's
And that
passed.
could get worse as the years go on here.
Definitely looks like it's going to get
Oh,
worse.
yeah, especially if
In
Chain
the- in
Gang
the
Charlie
next-
gets in.
Yeah, the next 2 legislative sessions, we could see a lot of changes in that. And
So, number 29 in gun control, that's pretty scary, actually.
Yeah.
In marijuana freedom, we're number 34.
And it's been going down, not up.
Yep.
Going up, not down.
Right. Fireworks, we're number 15. We're at a tie for fireworks. We actually, we legalize fireworks for farming, but we make them illegal for recreational use, which is kind of an odd thing. You actually, when you sign that little paper, when you go to buy fireworks, you know, you have to sign that little thing. That actually says that you're going to use the fireworks to scare away crows.
yeah.
That's what you're signing.
Oh, okay.
Well, the thing is, our
On New Year's
state,
Eve.
our state laws on fireworks are more lax than a lot of other
Right.
states, but in the cities, your restrictions are actually a lot stronger than a lot of other places.
Our cable and telecom, we're number 1. We actually have deregulated a lot of the cable industry and telecommunications industry. This is one I didn't understand. We are number 43 in the category of bachelor party freedom.
What?
I don't even know what that means.
Wait a minute. We live in Tampa Bay, which is known worldwide for its strip clubs. And
Read that thing up there. It'll give you an idea.
The user-created category combines a variety of laws, including those on alcohol, marijuana, prostitution, and fireworks.
okay.
The combination of all of those things, because Prostitution, it's not something that's legal here in Florida. Marijuana, not legal. Fireworks, there's a lot of rules on it. And alcohol, there's a lot of rules on it. You combine all four of those things, that's what gets us to 43, I think.
Yeah, there you go.
So eminent domain, which I talked about before, we're actually number 1. This is the one that really upset me. We are number 49 in civil liberties.
Read it.
I believe that.
It says this category includes a mix of unrelated policies such as fireworks laws, prostitution laws, and trans fat bans.
Yeah. What happens is that we do live in that state where civil liberties is not really looked upon positively by the legislature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
None of them. Here's the thing: the Democrats don't even placate to it.
No,
they don't even try to come forward, other than the voting stuff, which was BS anyway, because anybody can go and vote. They were like, oh, they're stopping people from voting. No, they're not. You just, if you're a dumbass and you all go and vote at one time at the same place, and then you realize why there's a line, go earlier. They had the thing open for 7 days before that. So that part's kind of crappy, but.
We're number 33 in what they call nanny laws, which is laws designed to protect people from themselves, including helmet laws, seatbelt laws, and trans fat bans.
Yeah.
And we actually do not have helmet laws in Florida for motorcycles.
We've gotten rid of it, yeah.
We've gotten rid of it.
But we're also
we've gone back and forth on it.
We've gone back and forth on it, and we are very hardcore on enforcing our seatbelt laws in this state. Very hard. I mean, they set up traps just for seatbelts.
Yep.
We're number 45 in drug enforcement.
In the drug enforcement freedom.
In drug enforcement freedom.
Yeah. Which we're very hardcore about as well, but we have a lot of imports coming from other countries here in Florida, so this is kind of a hub for that. So they fight it a lot here.
And we're number 30 for campaign finance. For campaign finance freedom. So we have a lot of restrictions on candidates and stuff, which really only affect candidates who aren't part of the establishment.
Yeah, because there ain't no rules on the other guys.
So basically, we're going to take away we're horrible on civil liberties. We're, horrible on personal freedom. And we're going to make it harder to change that.
Yeah, that's a good point. What's the next one?
We have happy hour. We're number 1 in happy hour.
We do have a lot of bars here.
The fact that we have happy hours is all it is, really.
Yeah. Number 30. We're number 35 in alcohol taxes, which I was actually a little shocked. We actually tax alcohol pretty high.
Yeah.
We are, let me see, seatbelts. We're number 19 in seatbelt freedom.
And that went down tremendously.
Yes, that went down tremendously. Well, because we were
number 1 for a while, and now we're number 19.
19, and that was a big thing, was because we made seatbelt laws a primary violation instead of a secondary violation, where it used to be you had to be pulled over for something else, and then if your seatbelt wasn't on, they could ticket you. Now they can pull you over for not having a seatbelt on.
Yeah.
So that was basically.
What was the last one?
That's helmets. Which we had already talked about. We're number 22 in helmet laws.
See, if we don't have any helmet laws, though, then what's the...
We do have helmet laws because if you're is 16 or under, you do have to wear a helmet riding a bike or motorcycle. Riding on, if you're on the back of a motorcycle or if you're riding a bicycle, you have to wear a helmet.
And we've gone back and forth on it. So we've had no helmet, then helmet laws, no helmet. We've actually gone back and forth on it 3 or 4 times.
I got you.
So it makes it where you're kind of unstable there too, which will bring your numbers down.
Yeah. You're not unstable.
Yeah, the reason we're so low on that is because there are states that have 0 helmet laws at all.
You do what you want. You do it at your own risk.
And for an adult riding a motorcycle, you don't have to wear a helmet, but we do have helmet laws. If you're 16 or under, you do have to wear a helmet.
And they're very strict.
Yeah. Yeah, they will bust you. I have seen cops harassing parents because their child is not wearing a helmet on their bike.
So they're actually very restrictive of it. So overall, we're number 23. So we're not very free.
We're middle of the pack.
We're middle of the pack.
To tell me that.
We're middle of the pack. I mean, look, when they arrest somebody in this state for serving food to homeless people...
Yeah.
We're not very free. Ask Tommy Frayne about that. Ask Greg Bone about that.
Yeah. I actually almost brought it up when we were talking about civil liberties. Who's number 1?
I would have to... Oh, okay. Let me go back to...
who's number 1 overall?
There's the top 5. The top 5 overall in freedom is actually Oklahoma, Tennessee, South Dakota, North Dakota.
Well, North Dakota's number 1 and South Dakota's number 2.
Yeah.
If you look right there, it gives you the number.
And New Hampshire. Well, I know I had to click on them all, though, to get to it. New Hampshire's number 4. Tennessee is number 3. Oklahoma's number 5. South Dakota's number 2. And North Dakota's number 1.
What's the bottom 5?
The bottom 5. California.
49.
Which is 49.
Not surprising.
Yeah.
California, New York, Illinois are my guesses for
New
3 at the
Jersey,
bottom.
48. Let's see. New York is the least free.
At 50.
And Rhode Island, number 46.
Where's Mass at?
Massachusetts is, that's Connecticut.
Connecticut's 40.
I'm trying to get down to.
New York, 50.
There it is. There it is, number 30.
30 is Mass.
So I guess Illinois as a state wouldn't be so bad. It's just the city of Chicago, I think.
Where's Iowa at?
Iowa.
Up 1. Up 1. There you go.
Okay. Iowa's number 25.
Oh, there you go.
Dead center.
Where's Texas at?
I'd guess
Texas is number 14.
Yeah, I was going to say, I guess Texas is probably in the higher end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Where's Oregon at?
Yeah, how
This
about
like a
Oregon?
geography lesson?
Well, Oregon and Colorado. Let's see where the two of
where's
those
Oregon
fall
and
now
Colorado?
with their...
Okay, Oregon, which is not the one who legalized marijuana, that was Washington State, but Oregon is number 28.
What's Washington State?
Washington State is number 29.
Oh, my gosh. And where's Colorado?
Looking.
I think above Oklahoma.
That's right. No.
Oh, there it is.
There. Okay, number 19.
Number 19, Colorado, huh?
Yeah.
Now, I'll bet you. I don't know this to be. I don't know this to be completely true, but I think that if you look at this map, that the electoral places or the states that gained electoral or that gained representatives are in the more freer areas, and the ones that lost electoral representatives are in the other ones, like California, New York. They lost representation. They don't have as many Congress people as they used to have, because we went up because every decade they redo this.
Right.
We went up. They went down. We basically got their representatives.
And the map changes depending on what you have. So, like, if you're in personal freedom, the map changes. So there's a different top 5 and a different bottom 5. So it's really cool. I mean,
put the link out. 1787. Put the link out on.
Put that link up so others can see it.
It actually is really cool. I was actually playing with this website a lot yesterday, kind of looking through all the different stuff and all the different states.
Oh, and where was Arizona? Sorry.
I got to go back to that.
It's a good
segue. I know
it's
why
a
you're
good
asking
segue. It's a good segue.
Okay. Arizona.
Let's go to Arizona for personal freedom.
Personal freedom. Oh, Arizona is number 26.
All right. There's a reason why they're 26. And it's because of this. This story is probably just one of the reasons.
Let's see where they're at in education.
They look top 5 there.
Yeah. Arizona, number 2 in education.
I think this was before they tried to do this.
I think this is...
Yeah, this is going to change that ranking.
That won't last.
Proposed law doesn't necessarily change it either, though.
Right.
So let me read this. This is from a website of Patheos.com, which is a atheist website. Arizona Republicans proposed bill that would not allow atheists to graduate high school. A group of Arizona politicians, all Republicans of course, have proposed a law, House Bill 2467, requiring public high school students to recite the following oath in order to graduate. And I will read the oath right now. You'll know what it is because a lot of people, if you join the military, you have to do this. I, state your name, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this oath freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge these duties, so help me God. Now, first off, forcing people to take an oath that within the oath says that I take this obligation freely is the definition of irony.
Yes.
If you're looking for it, it's right there. Now, if you are unfamiliar with what this oath is, if you join the military, for instance, this is an oath that you would take.
But you don't have to take that, just to have an education.
Yeah. This is meant for somebody that's actually signing up to do something, not just somebody that's graduating high school. Now, I took this oath. I would do it again.
You volunteered for it.
I volunteered for it. you can't make somebody, in order to graduate high school, take the oath.
High school is compulsory, and this oath to graduate is now also compulsory. How is it in any way taken freely?
Yeah, it's not.
Right.
And again, these guys don't even the problem is that you have people up in legislative offices that are morons. You do. The people that put this forward were morons.
Right.
I don't care what else they did. I don't care what they can add, subtract, where they can punctuate shit. I don't care. You're a moron for the simple fact that you didn't even read what the oath said or understood what the oath meant. You're just going to say, well, we ought to make all high school students just take this. What? You don't understand liberty and freedom. You don't even understand what this country means. The country was founded so you didn't have to take an oath.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people are saying because it says, so help me God at the end, then because it's required to graduate, that, children who are atheists that don't believe in God are being discriminated against. And this is a weird angle to take, and I know that. I don't say the Pledge of Allegiance, and you know that. And
yeah. Neither do I.
and I've said this a lot of times. And I don't say it because I'm a Christian. And because I have a belief that I'm not supposed to be promising my allegiance, especially to an inanimate object, like a flag.
I think this is a conversation we should go deeper into on Wednesday's show.
It is, but just the overall general view, there are a lot of scriptures that say, as a Christian, you should not be, promising your allegiance to anyone but, over God.
And we'll get into the deeper aspects of this, but the bottom line here is, the legislatures that put this thing forward, you are morons. You really are. You need to check yourself, because by just proposing this, it shows that you have no earthly idea of what you're actually doing up there. Like, this is one of those, like, red alerts, like, we got a moron, don't ever listen to anything else this person says.
I love that. We need those installed in every state house across the country.
You remember Chappelle's show where you had the wrap it up thing?
Yeah.
We need one of those, you're a moron. I need to have like a little box that makes a really loud sound that whenever somebody says something stupid, I can go, that person's a moron. Because this is what it is. It's the dumbest thing I ever... When I read this, I thought it was like The Onion. Nobody did this. This is not true. Now, luckily, it's not going to make it out of committee. It's not going to go anywhere.
I doubt it will.
It won't go anywhere. But the fact that somebody decided to take legislative time with everything else we have going on and go, what the real problem is that people don't swear an oath in order to graduate. That's the problem, guy? You dumbass.
People of Arizona, that's what you are paying your legislatures to deal with.
Yeah.
Apparently, all of your other problems in your state have been solved because this is what they are occupying their time
listen to this. Listen to this, by the way. This bill is the work of Representatives Bob Thorpe, Sonny Borelli, Carl Seal, T.J. Shope, Jeff Dial, David Livingston, Chester Crandall, and Steve Smith. You want to know who the morons are? There you go. Then you also go, Smith and Shope have also introduced legislation demanding that all students in grade 1 through 12 recite the Pledge of Allegiance with Under God every day. At least in that bill, students can get out of saying with their parents' permission, they can get out of it. But no such exemption existed with that with the loyalty oath. Wow,
loyalty oath.
I wish these guys realized also is that the Pledge of Allegiance was made by a socialist.
A Christian socialist.
Yeah, a Christian socialist, but a socialist nonetheless.
Like your point. Seriously, we don't have enough time to get into this. We need to have that discussion on Wednesday.
I get really upset about it. And
so do I.
It's the reason
and
why I don't
make
say
people
it.
mad.
Yeah.
I actually threw my entire school into an uproar over this back in the day. Yeah. So we need to do this on Wednesday.
All right, we'll do that though. And again, I still have that little nationalistic part of me that I'll just say the pledge, and I don't care. But I don't want them to make anybody do it though. Like if you want to sit down and do it, and you want to sit down, the only thing I would say is out of respect, I just want you to stand.
I do at least stand. I do
stand.
not say it though.
But I don't want them to make a law.
No.
I just want to give you crap if you don't.
I do stand. I fold my hands. I actually say a small prayer for my country at the same time, but I don't pledge allegiance. And I actually had someone ask me why I didn't at a Wiley event, and when I told them, she was like, "I don't think I'm ever going to say it again either."
Some people will understand. And that's a good test for people too. I hate to say that, we shouldn't really be well, I guess we should be testing people. But I like having those thermometer test things where if somebody gives you a bunch of crap because they're like, oh, you're not saying the pledge, it means you don't love America, then instantly just defriend them, block them, turn around, go the other way, because there's no way you want to finish any conversation with that person at all. Not even a little bit. Because that person will not even understand what they're fighting for. Like, it's like this whole thing with Duck Dynasty. We talked about it before. They have every right. A&E has every right to do what they did, just like Phil has every right to do what he did. And I got to tell you, and I'm going to pat myself on the back right here, I called it right from the beginning that A&E had something to do with it, and it's all come out now. Yep. A&E was behind it. Now all of a sudden, oh yeah, we're going to bring them all back. No problem at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, after the backlash, after you got your ass whooped in the media.
After they got what they wanted, which was they wanted media attention. Even bad media attention's media attention. Because everybody's going to be watching it now. We got to support Phil. We got to support. It ain't even a real show.
It's a real show. I like the show. I told you that.
Look, I know you like the show, but
I've never seen it
but from we're finding stuff out here. This ain't even how they really are.
No, I don't deny. If you assume that a reality show is real, you're the moron. If it is scripted, it is set up.
When the real world first came out, I did think that they were real.
The only reality show on television is Cops. That's it.
Yeah.
I think probably the first.
It's a good point, by the way.
Yeah, the first season of The Real World probably was real.
You think that one was the more real? Survivor, I thought the first season of Survivor was something that seemed a little real.
Survivor's a game show. That's it. They call it a reality show. It is a game show. Now, I think a lot of the interactions between the people in the tribe and stuff when they're at camp, I don't think those are scripted, but it is a game show.
I think they're staged.
To some degree.
I think
the first year it wasn't staged, but I think after that it started going
I actually think you have producers that will
lead things along.
Yeah, lead things along.
Yeah.
I actually haven't.
Where they actually are letting the people react just normal. They're letting the people react their real reactions, but what they're doing is instigating issues.
Right.
Well, you know what that person said.
Right. They're creating situations and then recording the reactions.
Right. I actually have a great idea for a reality show, by the way. I have a phenomenal idea for a reality show. We're not going to get into it this week. And I actually don't even want to
talk about it on the air because people
I actually don't want to talk because it is something that would be unique. No, you'd only could do it once, though. Would never work again. You'd only do it. It's a one-time shot. But I could totally do a reality show that would be reality, would not be scripted, would not be anything else, but it would be completely real, and I think people would actually love it. I'm not going to get into any more than that. I'll tell you off air, but I'm not going to get into it.
Oh my gosh, what a tease!
I know.
Well, I can't do it. I can't do it this week. All right, guys. The website is 1787network.com. What's that?
I love how I say 1 minute and then you start closing, and it takes you like 15 seconds to close out the show. But I tell you 1 minute, and you start.
But I'm going to get. I know it's going to take. Hold on. I know it's going to be a minute, so I'm going to start now. Hold on. I'm going to start now. 1787network.com. If you go onto the website, hey, if you got a little extra Christmas money in your stocking, go ahead and hit the donate button on the side. And go ahead and donate to the Liberty Underground show.
Get Greg the present of a new microphone.
Please let me have a new microphone.
Get Greg the present of a new microphone. So go to 1787network.com. On the right-hand side, there's a donate button. Click there to donate. Or buy the book, Neighborhood Projects, up there. Or just lob off an email, say hi to us, or do something. I don't care. Greg, any other final words on your part, sir?
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year. Danielle, wish everybody a good 2014.
Yeah, of course. I can't believe that we've gone through the year already.
Yeah, 2013, boy, went
quick. Really quick.
It was a good year, though. I actually, you know what I consider 2013 personally is a little bit of a turnaround year.
Yeah.
And also a trajectory year, a trajectory change year.
Yeah.
Where I feel like the trajectory of the show, personally, all the different things that we're working on are starting to take a trajectory that's going up.
Yeah.
And I think we're getting a lot of things put together. So I think 2014 will actually be a pretty exciting year.
I think 2013 we got a lot of bad stuff kind of out and settled, and
yeah, I think so. I think you're right.
I think we got personally and professionally. I think we're on a good course now.
Yeah, I think we are. We had to finally get rid of Adrian out of here. So we got that done.
That's not what I meant.
That guy was holding us back for years. So finally, we were able to get past that
Right,
whole
guys,
incident.
you're totally feeding into the I think they hate each other thing.
I'm just kidding, man. I love Adrian.
I think that's the intention.
We love Adrian. We miss him.
Yeah, he doesn't recall the show though, little bastard.
He did last week.
Nah, allegedly. Somebody else. Wasn't him. It was somebody else that called in. It was his. He's got somebody else now that does that stuff for him. He's got a personal stand-in. All right, guys. The 1787network.com. Like I said, man, I hope you guys have a good rest of the year. We will see you next year in 2014. We're out. Talk hard.
Bye.